All sports, all the time.
There's heroes and there's legends. Heroes get remembered. Legends never die.
This is the Spoken Podcast.
Hold your ears, folks. It's showtime.
I'm your host, Lance Twidwell.
Man, that kid, he can ball, man. He can ball.
Touchdown, Kansas City!
Patrick freaking Mahomes, baby!
Let's talk some sports, because that's what we're here to do.
You are tuned in to The Spoken.
This is the Spoken Podcast. I'm your host, Lance Twidwell, here inside the Starcade Media Studios with who else but Trevor Twidwell.
What's good?
Episode 291 is in full swing, full motion. We're so happy to be here with you and for you to be here with us, whether you're live streaming, podcasting, or YouTubing, which we always prefer. We want to thank you so much for taking the time to be with us in this time as we have another awesome show as we reach closer and closer to that number 300, man. We are about to join the 300 club of podcasters. That is something we very much take pride in. We know that a lot of podcasts out there, you know, they try it out and they like it and they see if it's fun and then they just kind of lose interest or they don't really build an audience and they just tend to fall away earlier on. I know that they said the average podcast lasts around 7 episodes, if I'm not mistaken. Well, we have far surpassed that, and we're very proud to say that.
A little bit.
And we are very proud of the community that we have been a part of and helped build here at The Spoken through Facebook, through Twitter, through this show. We are so happy that we are doing this and that you are hanging out with us today. We saw there was multiple people already jumping in. Our guy, Ruben the Cruz, our guy.
James T. Kirk's in the show early.
James, man.
What is going on?
Jimmy Kirk out here just doing his thing, bro, already hanging out with us.
Got some good sleep last night. It's up early with us.
Man, somebody put him to sleep or something. I mean, he had himself a night. Either way, we are so glad that all of you guys are with us, and we very much appreciate all the support we've been getting, man. I tell you guys at the top of the show, it's at the bottom of the show, I'm going to say it every damn week until we no longer have to, but we're not there yet. Growing the YouTube side, guys, we know that most of you have already supported that, but we know there are so many more of you that have just not done it yet. And what the hell? What's wrong with you guys? Do I need to like reach into the screen and break the fourth wall here and really make this thing awkward? I don't know what I need to do here, guys. Whatever I got to do, though, to convince you guys to get on YouTube, hit subscribe, hit notify, hit share, hit comment, all that stuff. We need that stuff. And I said comment last because that's the most important part. We want you to be a part of this community. We want you to feel like you are heard. That is literally why we do this show. Obviously, Trevor and I want you to want to give you our opinions.
Shit, we got Enrique in here from Portugal right now. So
See,
shout out to Enrique, baby. What's up, man?
We're not a national brand here, baby. We're a global brand. The Spoken is global. So shout out to Enrique. Thank you for being here, brother. We have people from Nigeria that chime in. We have people from Ireland. Like, this is a show that goes beyond that because we want people to feel heard, and I think people are starting to feel heard. So go ahead, get on YouTube, guys, and start joining the live chat. That is what we focus on primarily. We know there are other people that watch on Facebook and other places like that. And we appreciate that. But if you could, man, be so kind, because we're all on YouTube. Let's be real, man. Some of you guys don't have Facebook. Some of you don't have X. But I know all of us have YouTube. So let's go ahead and just join that. We very much appreciate it if you guys want to go ahead and subscribe there. And like I said, get in the comments because we also have a segment called Speak It every single week right in the middle of the show where we give you guys the platform, the opportunity to speak your mind, whatever question you guys have for us. Trevor and I will respond to it as authentically and as honestly as we possibly can. So if you guys are ready for a great show. Trevor, you ready for a great show, bro?
I'm ready, man. Let's go.
All right, without further ado, it is time for Lance Rants.
Gotta scream! Yeah! We're back on motion! The moon's gonna do big!
For what seems like forever now, guys, this is the first show where we have to sit here and react and respond and retort to a Chiefs loss. I know that I forgot that was actually a thing, but reality hit the Chiefs this week, and reality hit this entire fan base this week, and the entire world seemingly seems to celebrate. And now all of a sudden, the NFL rigged for the Chiefs narratives all of a sudden just happened to disappear this week. That's really weird, Trevor.
Yeah.
The Chiefs are now 9-1. They took an L, if you will, to the Buffalo Bills. And first of all, let me say before we dissect this, and I will say briefly because I know we're all ready to move off this one, so we're not going to sit here and jump into it too much. But first of all, I want to tip my cap to the Buffalo Bills in particular. I want to give Josh Allen nothing but respect. Man played his ass off, had an incredible last drive, and the Buffalo Bills deserve that victory. They were down several. They were down numerous players on offense in particular, and that didn't stop them. And they did their job. And I just want to congratulate them. I want to congratulate their fans. I know that was a massive, massive game. All jokes aside, I'm not being facetious. Bills Mafia, I'm happy for you guys. I know that's a big win for you guys. It's a big win for the Chiefs too.
Yeah.
Like they beat the Bills, it's a big thing, So let's be real. Let's keep this respectful. That's exactly what that was. And I tip my cap to the Bills Mafia showing up. They were energetic. Crowd was awesome. And Josh Allen gave them a show. So all paid respects to them. But we're not here to talk about the Bills. Today we are here to talk about the Chiefs and what the hell happened in that game. My initial reaction to this game was the Chiefs shit themselves. Straight up. And I'm not taking away from what the Bills did. I have to talk about, though, what the Chiefs didn't do. That is our job here, to dissect and give you guys causation, to give you guys a reason of what took place in this game from the Chiefs side of things. Because let's be real, the Chiefs did not have a good game at all.
No.
The second play of the damn game, Patrick Mahomes throws one of his worst interceptions of his career.
Just lofts it.
He's getting sacked, and he just lofts a ball in the middle of the field. I mean, that is about as reckless and irresponsible as it gets. And I know when you have a quarterback that makes all these magical plays like he does, that's kind of the give and take of being that guy. Is that sometimes you're just gonna have really just bad looking interceptions, and that's just gonna happen sometimes. So it was just one of those plays, and I felt like from the jump, oh shit, because what the Bills, their bread and butter of winning games this season has been two things: beating up on bad teams and winning the turnover battle and capitalizing on the turnovers. So it's technically three things, but you know what I mean. And that's exactly what happened from the very beginning. The Chiefs just played right into their game. And, I broke this down after the game. I put some stuff out there about, the Chiefs just, they've played with fire this season. They've gotten away with it. And this week they got burned. They did not have another bad game. Like, Chiefs have had a lot of bad games this year, and they've still found ways to win.
Especially offensively.
Yeah, which we give them credit for because they still find ways to win. And at the end of the day, that's all that really matters. But let's be real. We all like to see the Chiefs play good football. And it's been a very rare occasion, if at all, this year where they've played a really good game as a whole.
Yeah.
And this game really bit them in the ass because of that. And I had somebody on our Facebook page come at me about this. And look, you have your opinions. I'm not usually going to respond to them.
Come at me, bro.
Yeah, everybody has their opinions.
Come on.
But this guy had the nerve of saying that basically the Chiefs didn't play bad at all in this game. Trevor, real quick.
I mean,
Chiefs allowed in this game. These are just a few things here, okay?
the last drive's all you need to see, man.
The Chiefs allowed the most points in a game, 30, since Super Bowl 57. Trevor, that was 32 games ago.
Yeah.
Almost two complete seasons.
Yeah.
Okay? The Chiefs allowed the most third down conversions in a game all season with 9. The Chiefs, on offense, converted their fewest third downs since week 2 with 5. The Chiefs had their first multiple turnover game in a month. The Chiefs had their fewest total yards all season with 259. And Travis Kelce and D-Hop combined for 5 catches for 37 yards. And you want to tell me this was they played fine? They played like shit. This is a terrible game.
Yeah, our strengths became weaknesses in this game.
They played like shit.
We weren't good on third downs offensively, and we were bad on getting the teams off of the field on third and longs like we normally do on defense.
There's nothing, guys, there is nothing wrong with sitting here and admitting the fact that our team gave up a clunker. They crapped themselves in this game. I thought they were going to come into this game focused, ready to go, because this is a game they've all circled on their schedule, and they didn't. Now, we were on, Trevor, I was on Arrowhead Allies this week with Clint, Noah, Shane, and we had Frank Bull from 810, legend of the local area,
Sure.
man. Frank Bull,
Yeah.
love that guy. He was always nice to me when I could be up there at 810.
OG, yeah.
Yeah, and Frank, if you're watching this, bro, we will be getting a beer, like I said. I told you I would, and we're going to do that for sure, man, as soon as you start feeling better, so get better. But, you know, there's a lot of narratives out there, Trevor. This is, you know, one of the narratives that I absolutely despise right now is that, and I've heard this from several people,
Already getting them in the chat. I already know where you're going.
this was a good loss.
Yeah.
You
Moral
know, they
victories.
needed it. They needed it, Trevor. They needed to be humbled. You know what? The Chiefs were due I cannot tell you, Trevor, how much I absolutely despise this take. And you know why I despise this take? Because that is not a winner's mentality.
It's a loser mentality.
That is a loser's mentality.
That's that same mentality. Those same people are the ones that say, "Oh, I'd rather not make the playoffs than go to the finals and lose."
It's like
The fuck are you talking
and
about?
I know it's going to offend some of you, so don't get triggered. But trigger warning:
Yeah.
when people say, "Well, it's better that Michael Jordan went to the finals 6 times and won all 6
Right.
than LeBron to go 10 times and only win 4."
Yeah, his 10 times are less impressive.
So
somehow.
yeah, so going further more times is worse.
Yeah.
It's so illogical. It's a loser's mentality that you would rather the team lose a game because you're afraid that it's all this winning is going to catch up to them. That is such a dumb argument.
And that's not what the Chiefs were thinking.
It's so
The
dumb.
Chiefs absolutely wanted to win this game.
And the cousin of this narrative is, well, you saw what happened to the Patriots when they were undefeated.
No.
That doesn't. There's no parallel to this. guys.
My favorite narrative is that the Chiefs are just holding back and keeping things up their sleeve.
But see, here's the thing. And I want to. Maybe you and I are going to disagree on this.
Sure.
Because I actually believe that.
I think there's nuggets of truth mixed in there a little bit.
That's the narrative
But-
I'm actually going to play off of. Here's the reason why, Trevor.
Yeah.
Because with these things that I just talked about of how bad they played, are you going to tell me it's a coincidence that they played their worst game in all these segments in the same game? Like, there's no way you can tell me that it happened to be the Bills game, a team they know more than likely they're going to face again for a 4th time in the postseason.
It was more defensively for me. The defensive side of our offense was honestly fine. We scored we scored 3+ touchdowns. You know, I don't think that was. I mean, offense wasn't. I mean, situationally there were some bad offensive drives for sure. But
Well, they were terrible on 3rd down.
when we needed to score a touchdown though to go get the game close towards the end there, and that one drive that we had right before the Josh Allen's game clinching score, we went down there and scored in 10 plays.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was one of the best drives of the year I've seen us have. So, I mean, we know we could put it together. Noah Gray scoring twice. You know, Xavier scoring. Like, those things it was good to see those things. So, offensively, there's a lot of great takeaways. Defensively, we just bent over, bro.
And that's true. And I want to give the Bills credit for executing what they did.
Yeah.
But you can't tell me, Trevor, I will fight anybody on this. Not physically, but you know what I mean? I will argue with anybody on this.
All of you
debate
at the
anybody.
same time.
We will throw fists. No. I have to believe because Spags is so great at what he does. If you watch I watch the game again. I like doing that sometimes. I wouldn't watch the game again.
I wish I had that kind of time.
This is the beauty when I have kids, baby. You know what I mean? I can just, whatever I want to do.
I can watch hours of football.
Well, I mean, obviously, it was like, I get the access of all 22 stuff. So,
so you can watch it quickly. You
Yeah.
can watch a game in an hour, 3-hour game in an hour. Yeah.
Right. I watched it again, Trevor. You can't tell me for a second that Spags brought his real bag, if you will, the Spags bag, if you will, because it was so. And I talked to Clint, Noah, and Shane about this. They all saw it my way as well. And Noah had a great breakdown of this game, especially that final drive. He guys, after the show, go back to Arrow and Allies this week. It was a fantastic breakdown.
Drive,
but Spags it was either all in blitzes, zero coverage.
We're not getting home on
cover
4
zero,
on bringing 4. So I mean,
or it was extremely soft shell coverage where everything underneath was wide open. How many times, Trevor, on 3rd down was somebody for the Bills streaking across the field just wide open? How many times?
Yeah,
Even on the ones that didn't convert.
On the 3rd and longs, especially in 3rd and longs. Like we know we got to protect the sticks, and we're still allowing it.
You can't tell me that Spags saw that and thought, you know what's going to help this? You know what's going to help our cause is if we just keep doing the same damn thing. He's not Bob Sutton. This is a different era. Bob Sutton would have done that.
Yeah.
Spags, I have to. I'm not sitting here saying, Trevor, the Andy Reid Spags and Matt Nagy and Patrick and Travis and Chris Jones and all. They were like, you know what, guys, let's go lose this game.
No,
they clearly wanted to win the game.
There was obviously some experimentation going on for sure.
Boom.
For sure.
Because Nick Wright said this on
See
First Things First.
what their tendencies are, what they're going to do in certain situations. So if they're in that situation again, they'll know what to do differently.
Exactly.
I mean, that's every week though. That's football. That's adjusting. That's
the Chiefs though.
I don't think anything was super intentional. I don't think that they were allowing Josh Allen to do something that would cost them.
But but they had 0 spies on him all game. That is so illogical.
Yeah, that's where we miss Willie Gay.
But even like the worst defensive coordinators in the league would know that you got to have a Leo Chenal watching him or a Nick Bolton watching him. At least watching him. There were 0 spies,
especially the lack of weapons they have.
Exactly.
You knew Josh Allen was going to take that game in his hands.
Sure,
that's.
And so from the defense side,
I don't understand the logic though why we would allow
What I'm saying is this. I think what the Chiefs were doing, and again, I'm not I'm going to be real with everybody real quick. I don't like this. I don't like.
You got
the
Adam
Chiefs
Cole in
doing
the
this.
chat saying when you said Bob Sutton, I shuddered. For
Sorry,
sure,
trigger
bro.
warning. I apologize. But yeah,
Shivering-
you know
shivering in the
what
corner.
I'm talking about.
Yeah, yeah.
Bob's like, hey, let's just keep running this base defense. We're getting cooked all night on these streaks.
Yeah.
Let's just keep doing it. Woo!
Adjustment.
What the fuck is adjustments? I don't even know how to spell that. Who's adjustments? You know, like what I'm saying though is it clearly felt like, Trevor, that Spags was not showing his hand on his exotic blitzes because they were non-existent. There was no balance in the defense. It felt like we're all out or we're all in. You know, it was like all blitzes for a full drive or soft shell coverage for the entire. It felt like he was conceding points. And again, I feel like, I'm not saying I like this because I don't.
I don't think that's what happened.
I think the Chiefs were collecting data in this game because they are very confident they're going to win the 1 seed. I'm not saying I agree with this mindset, but I feel they are very confident. And here's the thing, Trevor. Are we going to pretend for a second this team doesn't like to take the tough road? This team is obsessed with doing things the hard way.
We do it weekly.
Yes. So it would
We're gonna beat the Panthers by 3.
Yes, it would be on brand for the Chiefs to go to Buffalo and give a C effort, give a C game plan, and say, you know what? In about 9 weeks from now, we're going to play this team again, and we're going to beat them because we just collected all that data. They put that on film. Now we know what they're going to do.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I like this. I'm not saying that's the right thing to do. But this team has done this more times than not, guys, where they'll lose. They've lost to the Bills now in the regular season 4 straight times. 4 straight times. And they have beaten the Bills 3 straight times in that span during the postseason. You can't tell me that's a coincidence. They are clearly doing something in this matchup that we're not understanding. Because you saw in excuse me, guys, my throat's been killing me this week. You can't tell me, Trevor, when you saw, and obviously Kadarius Toney fucked the whole game. The Chiefs should have won last year in the regular season. But you saw how different the Chiefs played Josh Allen from the regular season game that last year to the postseason. They shut his shit down. He was struggling the whole game. Because they pick up on what they're doing. They're picking up on things. Oh, that formation's going to do that. So I was more focused on the defensive side because the defense has been far more consistent over the last two seasons than the offense. The offense has had clunkers, so it didn't really shock me. The only thing that did shock me was they weren't going to D-Hop and Kelsey, which is why I'm convinced, Trevor, that the offense went there with the brake on. They went in there. They did not go in there and empty the bag.
Well, I know you've heard the narrative, too, about D-Hop and why he played as little snaps as he did is because they're trying to keep him under, I think, like 60% snaps or something like that because of the compensation of the pick.
I don't buy that at all.
I don't think we care that much about the fifth or fourth.
Yeah.
I think the 5th and the 4th are pretty much the same to the Chiefs in a lot of ways. So I think they were reserving him and Kelsey. And, you saw Kelsey giving the golf clap at the end of the game, which felt very like, That's one thing that did give me kind of pause. He's like, oh, okay, you guys, you got your Super Bowl. Now we'll go win the real one.
Exactly.
That did give me that kind of vibe for sure. Little passive aggressiveness there from Kelsey, but yeah, man, I don't know. I just felt like there was a lot of things that cost us the game that we didn't even need to do that. Like the Chamari Connor missed tackle, the over pursuing that he continues to do. I love him. He had that great pick. He was putting on some good tackles throughout the game, but the over pursuing, allowing big chunk plays after missing tackles is rough for him still right now. The kid's very aggressive, very good, but when he misses a tackle, it costs us big.
Right. Nick Bolton's half-ass attempt at the end of the game.
Right. So, I mean, I felt like some guys were just, in certain penalty. We were heavily penalized in this game more than we normally are.
That's weird, isn't it? I thought we got all the calls.
Right. So I think a lot of those things cost us this game, and obviously Josh Allen just 28-yard run to win the game was just unreal.
It was heroic.
Yeah, I mean,
amazing.
How can you not love that guy? I mean, if you're a football fan, how do you not love that guy? But yeah, I just felt like there was a lot more things that cost us this game than us just kind of like you said, collecting data for the next matchup, which I think that's always happening.
Right.
But I don't think we were just like reeling in things. I don't know. I mean, I think we truly wanted to go win that game because if we win that game, we get the 1 seed talk can cease. Well, especially with Pittsburgh losing this game.
And I don't believe, Trevor, hey, Andy Reid's, all right, Patrick, on the second play, I need you to throw a pick. I don't think that happened.
Sure,
Obviously, the Chiefs wanted to win the
deep
game.
conspiracy shit there.
The Chiefs wanted to win the game. I'm saying that we know, Trevor, how this team plays. Because we know, Trevor, once the playoffs are activated, this team's going to play way better than they're playing right now, right?
Yeah.
You'd agree with me.
Yeah.
Like, they're not going to play if they played the Broncos in the playoffs, that's not a 16-14 game.
Yeah.
That's going to be a 30-14 game.
And Kareem Hunt didn't even get that much work, if we're being honest. He didn't get his normal workload. Granted, we were
14
trailing.
rushes.
But yeah, so that's like almost half of what he's been getting weekly.
In a game that was tight the entire game until the very end. You're going to tell me right now, Trevor, that they did not have the game plan that we know they could have had, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Andy Reid did not go out there with his A game
Offensively,
plan.
that makes sense to me to kind of just keep some things off film for them. Not because we didn't give them much. We didn't give them any D-Hop. We didn't give them any Kelsey. We didn't give them much special thing. We gave them some Xavier Worthy to think about, which could have been a huge game. Xavier could have had a bigger game if he would have blew out that other play.
Sure.
But once that connection gets there, that's going to be a deadly duo, and I do believe that gets there. But I think I believe the offensive side of things, because I think we could have scored 5 touchdowns in this game. I definitely think we could have. But defensively, man, we just looked so bad on defense, and that was the most surprising thing to me. Like, keeping some things up our sleeve offensively, sure. Now, we always do that. No matter who, once playoff times comes, we're going to see plays we haven't seen all year.
Sure.
That's what Andy Reid does his whole career. So that doesn't surprise me at all, especially in this matchup. But defensively, we were just laying down. That was very surprising to me. And, Josh Allen was having his way the entire game. That was frustrating, especially with the lack of talent. He didn't have Coleman out there. Amari Cooper still banged up, not 100%. And James Cook didn't even go off. I know he scored, but he didn't go off against us like he has in the past couple games. So it was just frustrating to see Josh Allen just kind of have his way on 3rd and 15s, 3rd and 12s, and just converting them with ease. That was rough. That was rough to watch defensively.
Our guy James T. Kirk did ask me to finish my thought, because I did bring it when Nick Wright was staying on first thing first. Okay, so Nick made a point that it's so weird, dude. Like, Nick and I sometimes have like the exact same thought, and then he'll say it on the show. And I'm like, well, now when I bring it up, it's going to look like I'm copying him. But I honestly thought about it too. During the game, it felt like the Chiefs were, in a way, on offense trying to make a subtle statement. Because you said it yourself too, that you felt like the Chiefs wanted to show the Bills that they fucked up by giving the Chiefs the chance to go draft Xavier Worthy. And then during the game, I'm watching, I'm like, it really feels like the Chiefs are like experimenting here. Like, okay, this is the scenario of what it would look like if our offense was ran through
chest to checker shit.
Yes. And you saw it early in the game where they were fighting the stuff you've been asking for. To, scheme him open, because Andy can do it.
It was working.
And it was working.
Yeah.
That's the point, though.
Oh, if he would have got that deep touchdown, that place would have.
Once again, he can't
suck the air out of that.
He's got to get his fucking feet in bounds, dude.
Well, Patrick's got to collect his feet and put the ball on him, too.
Well, now that he's got a left tackle, we can talk about that.
That'd be awesome.
But here's the thing.
That'd be great to see.
We're going to talk about that in a second, so stay tuned. We saw the Chiefs intentionally getting Xavier Worthy involved earlier than any other game of the season. That tells me there's no coincidence what the Chiefs are doing, Trevor. They had a certain game plan. And that is what I think was going on, is the Chiefs, like you said, checkers while everyone else, or chess while everyone's playing checkers. They are seeing their seasons now, and like Frank Bull said to us on Arrowhead Allies this week, the Chiefs have played more games and have won more games than anybody else over the last 6-7 years. So they're playing a different game than everybody else. To everybody else, this is their Super Bowl. The Chiefs look at them.
That's facts for sure.
Yeah, the Chiefs look at them as the hurdle to their Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So it's a different perspective. So when they go to these matchups, the Bills, this is everything to us. We gotta fucking win this game.
Yeah.
The Chiefs, you and I were like, this seems to be like everything to the Chiefs as well. The Chiefs disagreed. They look at this game as, let's get some practice in. Let's work Xavier Worthy and see what he can do against the secondary. Because by the time we face this Bills team in the postseason again, which is very possible, Xavier Worthy's going to be that much more developed and that much more confident. And you're going to have Pacheco back. You're going to have Hollywood Brown back. You're going to have Juju back with help. D-Hop 2-3 months in the offense.
Ouche might become something.
Ouche's going to become something. You know what I'm saying? Like, all of a sudden, this team has their collection back with Xavier developed. So I think that's what the Chiefs were trying to do, is see what would happen in the case of we need to go Xavier Worthy's way 7-8 times in this game.
Yeah. No, offensively, like I said, I'm going to keep going with it. I agree with that theory offensively. The defensive side of things was just so hard to watch.
Yeah.
Especially when the defense has been, honestly, the bigger strength of our team all year. That was what was so frustrating me. It's like, all right, 3rd and 15, bro, they don't want to see us. They're not going to go for it. They went for it on 4th down, got it. That was so frustrating, bro. Like, the Bills showed the disrespect to our defense. They didn't respect us, and they went for it, and we allowed it. That to me was what was frustrating the most. Pat throwing a pick, it sucks, but he's been doing it all year, honestly. And we've been overcoming it every week. So that didn't surprise me too much. It's rough to see because the last 2 weeks he's cleaned that up. But opening drive pick, fuck, that sucks. But us reeling things in offensively and not showing too much offensively against the Bills makes a lot of sense. But defensively, we absolutely just laid down like the entire game. What it felt like, against a lacking talent offense. Basically, just Josh Allen and some guys. Shakir's a good player, but he's nothing special, if we're being honest. And that was the defensive and the lack of adjustments and the lack of a spy on that last drive for sure. And the lack of pressure, man. Our four-man front has been awful.
Right.
You know what I mean? And this is not just this past game. This was against the Broncos. We couldn't get home against the Broncos at all. Bo Nix had his way against us. They should have won that game if it wasn't for 𝚂𝙾𝙾 just being a superhero. So this is we're stringing along a couple weeks here where we're not able to get pressures, and for damn sure not getting home on sacks. Well, I mean, going from last year being second in sacks to the Ravens to this year being like 20th, 22nd. Yeah. That's worrisome to me because that's a trend at this point, man. It's been all year long. We're not getting home. So outside of like some corner and DB blitzes that we're getting home on, that's about it. Exactly. Chris Jones is doing everything he can, but George Kalafdis has got to be better.
Yeah, Chris Jones leads all DTs and pressures.
He's been incredible, but he's getting double, triple teamed. And George had a nice 3 or 4 game run where he got a few sacks there, and
he was whiffing in this game.
Yeah, dude, that was worrisome. That's my biggest takeaway in this game was just how bad the defense looked a couple weeks in a row. Bo Nix went out there and shredded us up. So I mean, granted, at least in one half he did. Second half we shut his ass down, but that's what I was hoping to see in the second half of the Bills game. Make some adjustments, get a spy on Josh, not let him run so much, not let them convert those third and longs, and then just continued the whole game. That's what was frustrating to me, and that's something I hope doesn't become a trend moving forward, which I am overtly confident that Spags will clean it up, and once we get more bodies in here, get 𝚂𝙾𝙾 going more, I think he's going to be a special guy down the stretch, and then obviously getting a guy like 𝚂𝙾𝙾 back, granted off a torn ACL is a big deal, but hopefully in the next few weeks he can ramp him up and let that dog eat. But yeah, man, defensively was my biggest concern in this game. I'm not worried about our offense. Our offense is going to do, in almost every single week, do enough to win games. And our defense is just the last couple weeks have been some clunkers, man. That's worrisome to me because I'm hoping that doesn't become a trend.
I want to get to a couple comments, and then we're going to move on to our next topic, which is a much brighter, more positive conversation, I promise. But I want to get these comments real quick. Our guy Brent, part of the reason Andy didn't run the ball is because Kareem is exhausted, 20-plus carries, and Gabe was finally catching up to him. I don't necessarily disagree, but I'm saying it was the pace of the game that made me think that the Chiefs were trying to, like I said, do something different. I do think they want to make sure they keep Kareem healthy, but I do believe if the Chiefs brought their A game plan, Kareem's still getting 20-plus touches. He didn't get any catches out of the backfield, which is his bread and butter. People forget about that. He was so deadly in the pass game when he first came to the Chiefs, when he was drafted by the Chiefs. And it didn't really feel like they had him as a primary target. You might be right about the exhaustion part, but we have to remember, man, that Kareem came into this season a month in and had no touches for a long time. So he was about as fresh as it gets. So maybe the exhaustion part plays into it, but I like to believe the Chiefs really wanted to, put their best game plan together. Kareem has a lot more touches than just 14.
Yeah.
Our guy, Clear the Air with E. Nick Wright said it felt like a practice, and Greg Jennings was saying when the offense needed a touchdown, they flipped the switch. Exactly. You guys, this is what I'm trying to say, is that the Chiefs were experimenting with stuff, and they're like, oh, shit, we might lose the game. Let's go and do what we need to do. And they did it. That's the point I'm trying to make, is that you saw the way the Chiefs started to veer the other way once they realized the game was getting out of their control. That's what I'm trying to talk about. So you make a great point there, and Nick obviously made a good point as well. Brent says, one of the biggest games of the season, they were trying to prove a point. Shake my head. That's where I'm at, Brent. I don't like the way the Chiefs handle these things sometimes, but that's their way. And even though I don't agree with it, I have to admit that it has been effective. It's a very unorthodox method to go into big games with the intent of not playing your best in the hopes that you're going to be able to, get an upper hand in a rematch of the postseason. It's very unorthodox. I don't know if very many teams, if any, have ever handled things like that. But again, there's a reason why this team continues to literally host every AFC championship, or at least play in every AFC championship for the better part of a decade.
And the arrogance it's just crazy. The arrogance for the Chiefs to if this is true, and they're just kind of more of an experimental game. Which could be true. I'm not going to say it's not, because I don't speak in absolutes and I don't put anything past Andy Reid, because the man is a mad scientist out here. But if the arrogance that they can do this with the Bills, take this L, but yet gather data to beat them later in the postseason if they meet again, and get the 1 seed still,
Right.
That's just next level dominance kind of thinking, man. So, and that's what I expect to happen. I still expect us to get the 1 seed. Obviously, we're what, a half a game ahead of the Bills right now at this point. So we got to take care of business. They have a rough stretch of games too. We got some tough games ahead of us, but this division just got more difficult because Chargers and Broncos are getting better. We got to face them again, but.
And I know you mentioned earlier, Trevor. I got Adam Cole saying we were feeling the loss of Willie Gay. Look, I understand.
He was a good spy on Josh Allen for sure.
Yes, I get it, guys. But can I be real right now? the defense has actually been better on third downs this year than it was last year. Like they've been outside of sacks, which I'm with you on, Trevor. Like it is worrisome, but pretty much everything else, the Chiefs have been better than the defense last season. Like. Willie Gay was a hell of an athlete, and I loved Willie, an energy guy, a rah-rah guy. I loved Willie Gay as a person. He was a really cool dude.
Yeah.
But he's not one of those guys that you like. Your defense is gonna like. Oh man, if only we had a Willie Gay. You know what I mean? Because like, you wouldn't even say they've missed L'Jarius Sneed this season. The L'Jarius is a much better football player than Willie Gay. So just from a positional standpoint, I don't know if I can get with that. I understand that the athleticism may have been missed, but I think the Chiefs have enough at linebacker where if they really wanted to spy Josh Allen, they could have.
Yeah.
They just simply didn't.
Yeah.
And there was multiple third downs. There was multiple third downs where Spags was putting his premier rushers in pass coverage. Like, this is what I'm talking about. Like, I felt like a very experimental game from the Chiefs.
Yeah.
So that's
if we're being honest. I mean, Nick Bolton's a better spy than even Willie Gay is. Nick Bolton's an ideal spy on Josh Allen.
He sucks at pass coverage. Might as well utilize him at that.
Yeah, Nick Bolton's one of the best tackling linebackers in the game. So, I mean, that guy, if you need somebody to tackle who's a big body that can go get Josh Allen, Nick Bolton is that kind of guy.
Our guy, MQ10,
Yeah.
I feel the reason the sacks are down is QBs are throwing away the ball quickly, and most of the quarterbacks have some mobility to get away. That's all facts.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, Trevor. That is
honestly, I disagree with that.
No,
there's
I'm saying
quarterbacks having plenty of time. That there's guys chilling in the backfield.
You gotta, okay, I look at this situation as a gumbo, right? And there are so many ingredients that go into a gumbo, right? That make it what it is. I think that is a certain ingredient. That's like the salt and pepper, right? But what brings the paprika, what brings the chili sauce, whatever you want to talk about, is the stuff that you were talking about, Trevor.
The roux, we got to build that roux up. Yeah.
What is the roux? Is the Chiefs don't have guys that are getting home. So it's a combination of both. I don't think it's one or the other. I think it is definitely, they haven't had the dogs to help Chris Jones, right? But there's also been a game plan of, look, this defense can't get you. We've seen it even this season at times where they are getting it home. But remember Joe Burrow. They were getting home at Joe Burrow. That's what won them the game.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like you said, Trevor, it's not consistent. And so that's why teams are getting away with this. Bo Nix was doing his fucking taxes.
I just disagree.
That's
my point. That's why I disagree with the point there by Mac 10 that QBs are just getting rid of the ball quick and they're doing the Tom Brady thing, just getting it out quickly, whether it's incompletion or completion. I disagree with that. The guys we're giving them way too much time. We're just not getting home on these pressures and these sacks, and that's why our secondary is struggling. Granted, I know we're down bodies in our secondary, but the best way to have a good secondary is to have a good front four, right, and a good defensive line up front and getting after quarterbacks. So when we're not doing that, you give Josh Allen time to make plays downfield. You fucking know he's going to. He's one of the. It's not if not outside of Patrick Mahomes. I think he's the best quarterback in football. Yeah. So you give that guy time to make plays downfield, no matter who's out there running routes, he's gonna find him. The dude has one of the best arms in the game. So of course, and that throw he threw to it was Amari Cooper down the sideline. No one could have placed that ball better. That was the defender was there. It was a great deep.
Was that Najee? Was that Najee Johnson?
Yeah, Najee was there. Just put it right into the breadbasket of Amari. I was like, Jesus Christ! You give him time to make those throws, he's gonna shred you all day, man. So we got to get home on these pressures and these sacks. It's not about these guys getting the ball out quick. They're getting 3 to 5 seconds to make plays every snap, and that's just unacceptable.
Julia Giglio, shout out.
Julia.
The Jalen Watson injury is noticeable. I think the only time it's really noticeable is when Joshua Williams is playing a lot of snaps because Joshua Williams has been an ass.
It sucks to see the downfall.
That's why Nazee's playing a lot.
I honestly like Najee. I know he's been getting shredded on the internet the last couple weeks.
He's been pretty bad.
Sure, he's not healthy
but
either.
He's better in zone. When he has to play man, he struggles. When he plays zone, he's actually pretty good.
Yeah.
This is my theory, and Julie, I want to hear your thoughts on this because you brought this up, and everybody. So obviously, you guys chime in.
I just thought he was there. He was in the right place at the wrong time. If we're being honest.
Well, here's my theory, Trevor. This is my take. Actually, this is what I'd like to see the Chiefs do, because if you notice, there's been a young rookie that has been playing a lot more lately, and it's Jaden Hicks, right? Yeah. He's been playing a lot more. And he's been playing really good football. Jaden Hicks has been a difference maker.
Is a stud.
What I think the Chiefs should do is have Jaden Hicks replace Jamari Connor and Shamari Connor play corner. Shamari Connor is one of those is maybe the most versatile defender on this defense. This guy, and I know he whiffs, but here's the thing: you wouldn't have him in the position to whiff if he's playing more man coverage, going downfield with guys, because his coverage is insane. He's a big physical corner.
Not in the slot though. Don't put him
that's McDuffie.
underneath. Yeah,
that's
yeah.
McDuffie. I'm talking about outside
He's
where
a
Jalen
freak
Watson
athlete.
was.
He's a freak athlete.
Let Shamari play where Jalen plays. Yeah. No more Josh Williams. He sucks. We know what Josh Williams is. He is not good. Okay, he's regressed significantly.
Yeah, it's unfortunate.
Have Nazi play a little nickel. Have Jaden playing the nickel, dime, all that stuff, and that's in the safety position because he's really growing in that role. And put Shamari up in the front, in the outside, and let him cook out there. I think that's the best. And honestly, I think that's where Spags is going to go. So I'd love to hear from you guys on that one, whether you guys think that's a good idea or not. Because I'm not worried about the secondary. I think they just need to make a couple of tinks, or they need to tinker with some.
Well, we need to get bodies back.
Yeah,
there's certain bodies that we're missing.
Having Jalen Watson's ideal. He's been really good. He was insanely good this year.
He's done this year. We can't even think about that.
Well, according to he was talking to Daniel Harms on Twitter. He said, because Daniel Harms told a fan that Jalen Watson's out for the year, and Jalen Watson said, where'd you hear that? So I don't know if that's just him talking.
It's been pretty hush-hush, but I just, if he gets back, it probably won't be till postseason, if anything. It was a pretty bad injury, man. He tore that, it was like that ankle, right? That broken.
I think he broke it, fractured foot or fractured ankle.
Yeah, it was pretty rough.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember how we kind of felt about Brian Cook last year when he hurt himself, and we
that was a horrible injury.
Dude.
But
we were like, maybe he might be back.
His ankle went the other way. That was horrible.
That was rough. But yeah, I mean, definitely missing some guys. But I mean, listen, man, we had the room that we have, but I think we need to figure things up front though in the trenches defensively. That's going to help this young secondary and a couple of these guys, that are inexperienced. Yeah. They've been on this roster, but a lot of these guys, outside of Josh Williams, who's regressed and is not going to be playing as much, but he's one of the only really truly experienced guys left. So Trent McDuffie obviously takes care of his side and wherever he's at. But we need to get some pressure up front and finish these and get these quarterbacks on the run and get some pressures on these quarterbacks to make mistakes and allow our secondary to kind of thrive more that way. That's where it's got to start there, man.
Yep. Lonnie Pyramid's in. Shut up, bro. Glad you're in here with us. Don't worry about the tardiness. We'll just write you up for this one. It's just a warning.
That's a demerit.
Yes.
That's a demerit, sir.
Julie Gooley did reply. She said, I feel like Nazi could be serviceable, but the front four needs to be consistent. That's where I'm at. I think if the Chiefs, like when Amenahu's back and Uche gets involved more, because I know Brent was talking about Spags being stubborn and not playing the new guy, Uche. I think Uche is going to develop in this defense, guys. I understand it may not be rocket science, but guys, Uche he's going to have to learn his way into this defense. You have to understand, he was playing in a much different defense in New England. He has to learn the defense now that he's in. And honestly, Spags, according to what I've heard from Justin Reed, we've had Justin Reed on Arrowhead Allies. He said it's one of the most detailed defenses you'll ever play in. You have to know everybody else's positions. You have to know where they're going to be at, spacing. You have to know all this, the exotic blitzes, the timing, all that stuff. Spags plays a very integral defense. So Uche is learning his way in, and I fully expect him to play an impact role at some time. But I do agree, when Amenahu is back and they have finally somebody that can threaten the quarterback a little bit, it's going to take some pressure off of Karlaftis and Mike Dana, who's still coming back from his injury. He's working his way back. That's when I think you'll start to see this younger secondary get a little bit more. You'll get more out of them because of the fact that guys are getting home. Because that's where it all starts. Let's be real. The Legion of Boom was a very rare commodity. Let's be real, Trevor. Like what the Seattle, what they built 10, 15 years ago.
Yeah.
That doesn't happen.
That was unique.
Where you had 4 or 5 guys that were just shutting dudes down. That just doesn't. Like they had like 3 Hall of Famers in that secondary. Yeah. That just doesn't happen.
And they just happen to draft guys at good prices that just happen to be great players.
I mean, my God.
Some very Warriors-esque type shit. Some luck that happened.
That's like the greatest secondary I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
So that isn't as common as you think. So what is more common? You have a pass rush that speeds the quarterback's thought process up a little bit, and that makes the secondary look a little bit better. That's why I look, L'Jarius Sneed's awesome. But let's be real, Trevor. Having Chris Jones have the season he had last year helps L'Jarius Sneed significantly.
Of course.
So
yeah, we were second in sacks last year.
That's where we're at.
That dynamic has changed tremendously this year, man. We're not getting home on these plays, and that's what's changed the secondary a whole bunch. And talking about L'Jarius Sneed, I think he's about to go on the IR for the Titans. So I mean,
that sucks.
It does suck, but I mean, it was time to go, and it was the right move to get rid of that guy. For being honest, but
well, yeah, the Chiefs maximize off of what they had.
Yeah.
That's why I tell you guys all the time, like players at those positions, don't get too attached. We love the guys that are playing there, but there's gonna be a day Jalen Watson's not here. There's gonna be definitely a day Joshua Williams isn't here. There's gonna be a day. I still believe that Trent McDuffie won't be here, but we'll talk about that another time. But I want to move forward, Trevor, because as you know, yesterday afternoon/evening, we got some news. The Chiefs went out and decided to make a big move. And I say big because I do believe it's a big move. According to Jordan Schultz, if we can put that on the screen real quick. Gotcha. According to Jordan Schultz, sources, free agent offensive tackle DJ Humphries is signing with the Chiefs. Humphries is a proven and versatile starter who can help Kansas City down the stretch. Jordan Schultz speaks the truth on this. Trevor and I were texting about it immediately. I think we heard it at the same time because you texted me right after it broke on all over local radio.
Yep.
I was in my car when I heard it as well. And I immediately got to work on this one. I know who DJ Humphries is, obviously.
Yeah.
Trevor and I were talking about, what the Chiefs were going to do at left tackle with, Ŵāņē struggling as bad as he is. Trevor and I had our debate last week about the whole situation.
Doesn't matter
Donovan
anymore.
Smith, the whole idea of Donovan Smith coming back.
Yeah.
This is what I was saying, Trevor. I said there's a reason why Donovan Smith is not signed this year. It's not because of an injury. It's because I don't believe he's any good anymore. And this is now proof of that because the moment that DJ Humphries is medically cleared, the Chiefs went and got him immediately. I think he was cleared like earlier that day. So the Chiefs clearly were watching DJ Humphries. This was clearly a guy they've been monitoring for quite a while, and they knew they had a real left tackle problem. So let's go ahead and give some figures here, Trevor. What exactly the Chiefs are getting out of DJ Humphries? So DJ Humphries is 30 years old. It's not young, but it's not old. Left tackles.
That's the prime age
yes,
for left tackles.
Left tackles that are normally healthy, and obviously he's coming off an ACL injury, but most of the time that's usually when they're hitting their peak. And so the Chiefs got themselves a really good tackle at a really good time. Again, he is coming off an ACL injury. He suffered week 17 of last season, so he's fresh off that injury. But as we know, science and medical development now, ACL injuries aren't as significant as they used to.
And I mean, it's still an ACL, but ACLs tend to not impact linemen as much as they do like skill position
not nearly
players.
as much.
It's
100%.
not the same. You're right.
This is one of my favorite things about the DJ Humphrey signing. So he played 9 seasons with the Cardinals who took him in the first round. So this is a first-round talent. We know Brett Veach loves to refurbish his roster with former first-round picks. He's obsessed with that.
Yeah.
Loves going in
especially Pro Bowl, Pro Bowl caliber players as well, for sure.
He has started all 98 games of his career. This man is a experienced. What are we talking about, Ŵāņē and Kingsley? There's no experience between these two. They're so underdeveloped. This guy has almost 100 games under his belt.
Yeah.
That's a lot of football experience.
This is a perfect addition for this last stretch of the season.
And here's the biggest factor in all this, Trevor. He's better than Ŵāņē Morris and Donovan Smith.
Yeah, it's an upgrade.
No question
it's an upgrade, however you look at it.
And here's the other thing. So this is the part I really want to talk about because obviously this is a good signing. I think you agree, right?
I love this signing.
Very big signing. Do you have anything you want to add real quick to that?
Well, like I said before the show, I think that there's a hidden little gem into this signing as well. Is that this 30-year-old man, was protecting Kyler Murray.
You said this before the show. Who's
a very similar. The way he moves and evades pressure in the pocket, dances around a little bit to extend plays, very similar to Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
Right. So he's been a Pro Bowler while protecting a quarterback similar styles, obviously in a way.
That is important.
Yeah. So he knows how to kind of protect a quarterback that dances around a little bit.
You would agree this is probably one of the reasons why Orlando Brown struggled in our offense because
he's been really good for the Bengals for Joe Burrow.
Well, I'm saying that he came from a run heavy offense in Baltimore to a pass heavy offense in Kansas City. He's like, oh shit, like
yeah.
So it was a culture shock.
Yeah, and this isn't. You're not talking about C.J. Stroud, a guy who's just a traditional pocket passer. This is a different kind of quarterback. So he knows how it's a very similar style between Kyler and Patrick Mahomes. The way they dance around and extend plays and make plays while things are breaking down. So him having that kind of muscle memory to kind of know to protect a guy like that, and knowing that the play is never really over. Don't give up. All these things. The play isn't over. Keep extending the play. Keep blocking until the whistle blows. Things like that. That's the kind of guy. I think that's a sneaky little tidbit to bring in a guy like that who has played in a Pro Bowl caliber seasons with a similar quarterback style. So I think that's a little nugget that's important here in this signing.
I like that a lot. And I know people are waiting for me to give the stock of Shaggy texted me this. in our group chat with Clinton Noah, and I was ready to address it because, he could be a potential multi-year starter for the Chiefs, DJ Humphries. This could be a guy the Chiefs do keep next season. They could offer him a 2-3 year deal.
Yeah.
They literally could.
Yeah.
This could be a guy that is here for a little bit if all goes well this season. So if that's the case, Trevor, the question that I know everyone's asking me is, what does this mean for 𝚂𝙿𝙾𝙳𝙴?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
This is what I think. And I heard it last night from Matt Verderam, and this is kind of where my mind was going as soon as I saw the acquisition. I think what this means is there's a really good chance that 𝚂𝙿𝙾𝙳𝙴 goes to guard. I think he becomes a guard because the skill set he does have is everything you need at guard. Strong base, because guards, their feet usually aren't. That's why guards
could be the Tooney replacement, Joe Tooney replacement.
This is where I'm getting.
Yeah.
So Kingsley's on a rookie deal. He's got 4 years on his deal. And
I think the kid's gonna be good. By the way, no matter what he does, I just want him to be great at what he does.
I think that's where he's going to move here
Sure.
because this is where things are going to start getting interesting for the Chiefs. This begins a whole discussion about whether it's going to be Trey Smith or Joe Tooney's future with the Chiefs.
Yeah.
Because I'm gonna be honest with you, Trevor, I don't think both of them are back next season. I think one or the other is. Okay. Biggest reason why? It's simple. Money. Okay. Look at it like this.
Yeah.
A pre or post June 1st release or trade for Joe Tooney next season would save the Chiefs $16 million. Okay. He'll be 33. Despite his age, though, he is still by far the best left guard in the NFL and is showing zero signs of slowing down. So obviously the Chiefs, probably where they're at right now, mentally wise, is let's give him an extension and let's let him play another 2 or 3 years and see if he'll hang on.
Right, because it's awful.
It's kind of a risk, because he is getting older. But we've seen, even here in Kansas City at guard, where Will Shields, and I'm not, honestly, I can't make that comparison.
Tooney is
I think
up
Joe's
there.
up there with Will Shields.
Yeah.
I mean, he's close to him.
He's as consistent as you get, man.
I mean, yeah, Will Shields was better, but
Yes, yeah.
Joe he's been on nothing but Super Bowl winning teams.
Damn near got a fistful of rings, man.
He had a 99, almost 99 win rate last year, which is historic.
And he was great for 2 different teams.
Yeah, 2 different dynasties.
Yeah.
So I think the Chiefs want to keep Joe. I think, though, that it's a very tough decision because here's the other problem, Trevor.
Yeah.
Just 2 spots over, they have a 25-year-old phenom in Trey Smith,
One of the best in his position.
who is wanting to get paid. If we look at his market value here off Spot Rack, Trevor, this is Trey Smith's market value right here according to Spot Rack. So $18.6 million per year,
Hefty.
which is a 4-year, $74.3 million deal.
Yeah.
Listen, if you look, I am an offensive lineman guy. You guys know this. I am such a believer in building your offense through obviously your quarterback, but the ones that protect your quarterback more than your skill positions. I am forever in that. Not that you guys know I'm a wide receiver dude. I've been banging the door for 24 months on D-Hop coming to Kansas City, so you know that I'm big on skill position. But this is why I always say you spend money on offense and you draft defense. Keep drafting young defensive players, right? A rotating door, and spend your money on offense. Give your quarterback veterans at offensive line and skill positions.
Yeah.
That's what I think the Chiefs are going to do here. I think the majority of their money next season is going to be on the offensive side. I don't think they're paying Nick Bolton. I don't think they're paying Karlaftis or McDuffie at least this offseason. They have another year to do that. I think they're spending all of their money, or the majority of their cap, on offense. Whether they're trying to figure out how to keep D-Hop, Trey Smith, or Joe Tooney.
Hollywood Brown, keep him another year.
He won't cost them anything though, so that'd be great. But I definitely do believe, and I don't think if I'm not mistaken, okay. Pacheco, I think, has 1 more year, and I don't think he's getting paid. That's just my opinion, though.
Yeah.
I think it's going to come down to what they want to do. And look, we can have this debate about Joe Tooney and Trey Smith at a later time because this will be a massive offseason topic of which one do you guys want to keep? The elite, older veteran guy that's going to be expensive, or the young top tier, maybe not elite yet, but a top tier guy who's going to be expensive as well. Like, it's going to be, you have to make that choice. So we'll have that debate another time. But the major topic about this right now, what I want to focus on, is where Kingsley fits in all this. And I believe it's either going to be at left or right guard. And that's coming from me, the guy that believes that Kingsley's going to be the left tackle for this team. But this team clearly doesn't believe he has that in him. But I do believe this team sees the amount of athleticism and strength that Kingsley has. That's the two biggest things that his draft profile said. Extremely strong. His base is extremely strong, and he can move dudes around. That's why he played left tackle in college, because if you can move dudes around, you want to be out there against the edge rushers. But his feet might be too slow. And if his feet don't develop, then he's going to be a guard. And I'm okay with that, but it's going to be Joe Thuney or Trey Smith gone. What do you think about that?
Well, I mean, I think if it comes down to that, I think they're going to move off of Trey Smith. I think they're going to pinch some pennies and save money there and keep because Joe Thuney's shown no signs.
Well, you got to remember, like I said, it's not going to be cheap either way, though. Because they're going to probably have to extend Joe Thuney. He's on a 1-year deal next
I don't think he'll be as expensive as Trey Smith would be, though, in my opinion. At that age, this is what his fourth contract, I think, fourth contract in his career. I mean,
it might be a 2-year deal, but Trey Smith will get a 4 or 5. He's younger, but I do think the per year, Joe Thuney's better than Trey Smith.
Yeah, no,
that's
what I'm saying. Yeah, I mean,
so he might.
I think our guy, I agree with their guy John Harrison. I think he says, I would extend Thuney, bring the figure down. He is one of the best pass blockers in the league. That Trey Smith is the enforcer, very tough, but he's a better run than pass blocker.
Oh yeah, John's right
for sure. That's what I'm saying.
Right.
So I mean, protecting Pat is obviously the first thing you want to do. And Trey Smith is one of the best run blocking guards in the league. He's one of those guys that just blows gaps wide open and creates holes for running backs better than most. So it's a really give and take. Both these guys have their strengths. I would just honestly, I think Joe Thuney's always been the better player. Will always be the better player, no matter what age. Honestly, so I feel like as of right now, that's where I'm at. I mean, I was just months ago. I was signed Nick Bolton guy. Obviously, I've changed my mind on that and what I think we should do in this coming off season. I think Nick Bolton's a guy you can walk away from and be okay. Very replaceable position there, but yeah, man, it's gonna be tough. I mean, the Kingsley thing going to guard does make sense, especially with the move for Humphreys here, and especially if he works out and he looks good. I think that makes.
I'm fully expecting that.
I do too, man. I think the kid's good, man, or the guy is good. I keep calling him the kid. I feel like we just signed him like as a draft pick or something. But yeah, he's the newcomer.
Hey, real quick about this Humphreys thing. The Chiefs clearly believe in him.
Yeah,
because they gave him
money right away.
$2 million.
Yeah.
We're already halfway through the season.
If Beach nails this shit, bro.
They gave this man $2 million to play half a season.
Yeah.
Like, they clearly, and you know that there was bidders. You know there was teams out there, so the incentive of playing with the Chiefs and getting $2 million for half a season, God, you know that DJ Humphries is valuable.
When you're talking about, just like you said, you like signing and paying, experienced veteran offensive players and the offensive line. This is right up that
The
alley.
Chiefs got better.
Yeah, of course.
The Chiefs got better yesterday.
This is a guy who was a Pro Bowl 2 years ago.
Yes.
He was in the Pro Bowl 2 years ago.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So this is not like some bum, and then he's got hurt.
And if we know anything about this Chiefs offense...
He got hurt right at the end of his contract when he was going to get an extension and just didn't get it. And that sucks.
When was the Chiefs offense at its absolute best? What years would you say, Trevor?
Say that again?
What years would you say the Chiefs offense has been at its best in the Mahomes era?
Oh, like the 2018 through 2021.
Who's their left tackle?
Oh, who was our left tackle?
At the time.
Oh, it was Eric Fisher, right? Yeah.
Eric Fisher was a above average but not great
left tackle. We saw what happened when he went down.
Yeah. Eric Fisher was an above average but not great
left tackle. He was a good left tackle.
Very solid, reliable, like top 12 left tackle, right?
Tough as shit, yeah.
What's CJ Humphries?
Same thing.
Even
bigger, even
bigger, even strong. Well, Eric Fisher was pretty fucking strong, but my point is,
played through a lot of injuries.
That was when the Chiefs offense was at its pinnacle, right? At its apex.
Yeah.
So if you can get that through DJ Humphries, an experienced, reliable veteran, who just Patrick doesn't have to sit here and think, oh fuck, dude, like I know I'm about to get blown up. Because let's be real, in that Broncos game, Bitonio, that's his name, right? Bitonio, the pass rusher.
Yes. That dude.
If he wanted to, he could have ended Patrick Mahomes' season.
Yeah.
He had so many free shots.
Free shot on him. Yeah.
He could have ended Pat's season, and that would have ended our season. Yeah. So thank you for not killing Patrick Mahomes in that game because he had multiple shots. That will not happen with DJ Humphries. And that is why Patrick, I believe the biggest reason why Patrick and Xavier Worthy have not gotten the same page is because of that protection on the left side. Now that that's going to be there, this offense, and it's so perfect, Trevor, because DJ Humphries is going to learn his way into this offense because, as tackles, you usually don't play your first game when you get signed to a team. You'll play the second and third and all that, move forward.
Yeah.
It's going to be at the exact same time that Pacheco and Hollywood Brown start coming back. So you're getting all this together at the same time. Right at the end of the season, the gelling and the cohesion of this offense is going to all start happening in December, which is the perfect time to do so. So this is happening at the right time where Patrick can now start to relax a little bit in the pocket and start sending the ball downfield a little more accurately and not, be all anxious. Yeah, exactly. Start climbing the pocket and delivering those balls like we know he can. He's the best at it in football. That's when I think him and Xavier Worthy are going to be at their absolute best, when he can start to say, I know my left side, my blind side is covered. I'm good.
Yeah, allow the play to develop downfield. Yeah, we haven't had the time, dude. And one thing, too, you didn't mention the idea of possibly Wanya Morris playing guard also, a guy who's also played guard in his collegiate career and through his development. He can play both. So, I mean, I think there's a situation, too, where maybe they keep experimenting and developing Kingsley as a left tackle to be the guy for the future. He's a very young kid, 21 years old, 22 years old. So, I mean, he's got plenty of time to develop, man.
No matter where he plays.
And play behind. He plays behind Humphrey for the next 2 seasons.
I'm just being real about Wanya.
Maybe he's still the guy for the future, and Wanya can play guard.
I know people think I hate Wanya. No, what I've always hated is how he's used, because he's not a left tackle.
Well, and he's been hurt a lot, too. He's very inconsistent, just being available.
Well, there's a question here we can talk about in a second. God damn it, who was it that
John
asked?
Harrison?
No, I think it was Julia. Well, yeah, I want to answer this one real quick. I know it's speaking, but I want to answer it now.
Okay.
So when do you think right tackle becomes an issue? This is very simple for me. The moment that Juwan Howard is no longer under contract.
Juwan Taylor.
Did I say Juwan Howard?
Juwan Howard.
I said it again. I did it again.
Shout out Michigan.
Yeah, no shit. Juwan Taylor, the moment he's got $19.5 million guaranteed next season. He's going nowhere. So, and let's be real. Juwan is not bad. He's a very solid right tackle
this year, man.
His problem is obviously he gets these dumbass penalties, which I still think the league
come at the
picks
worst
on him.
time too.
Yes, he has some dumbass penalties.
I like it.
I like Juwan Howard.
I like that he jumped.
I like Juwan Taylor. God damn it! I like Juwan Taylor.
Yeah,
I think he's a good right tackle. You guys know the whole thing with him just came off. It was
how many times we see him get just beat? It doesn't happen.
It doesn't happen. Yeah, he shut Max Crosby down in that Raiders
That's
game.
what I'm saying, dude.
Here's the other thing.
The right side has been good.
I think the whole Juwan Taylor thing was just weird from the beginning, because remember when the Chiefs signed him to that humongous deal, and Matt Verderame and all these guys were saying, "Oh no, he's their left tackle," and I'm sitting here going,
"That was a weird."
Wait a second, and then I got crushed for it, and he ends up being right tackle. I'm like,
yeah, it set the whole fan base up for failure. Like, it was a weird.
So he never played a moment at left tackle because he wasn't a left tackle. That was my whole point. So the whole thing's just been weird, I think, to Chiefs fans, because he got all that money and he's not a left tackle. He got left tackle money.
Yeah.
And I remember Mitchell Schwartz came at me and he's like, "Well, you don't understand the market." No, I clearly do. Because there was like one right tackle in the league that was making that kind of money, and it was Ramczyk.
Yeah, we paid him primo right tackle money.
Ramczyk was the best right tackle in football at the time, besides like Lane Johnson. Lane Johnson wasn't making that money.
Honestly, statistically, Juwan's been one of the best right tackles in football this year. Juwan's been great this year, statistically, man. I mean, he grades out high almost every week. He's got some dumb penalties, but you don't see him just getting beat every week.
Right.
He's not getting beat. He's taking care of his side of the field. So I mean, Juwan.
Look,
I keep Juwan out of everybody's mouths.
Like I said, I'm going to keep this Joe Thuney, Trey Smith conversation kind of in the holster until the season's over, because it doesn't really matter until then.
Yeah, there's a lot of shuffling going to happen this.
What I will say though, guys, is I think we do, because I saw John said it would make more sense to give money to Humphreys at left tackle than Smith at guard. I agree with that. But the Chiefs may not have to pay Humphreys a lot of money because, one, he's already in his 30s, and two, he's coming off an ACL injury. So the Chiefs might get him on a 2-year 25, 2-year 30. You know what I mean? Like, that's not a crusher. Like, you're not going to break the bank on Humphreys. Or that wouldn't keep them from paying Trey Smith, is what I'm saying. I think it's going to come down to whether they extend Joe Thuney or not. If they extend Joe Thuney, Trey Smith's gone.
Yeah, they're not doing.
They're not paying both guards.
Yeah.
So that's. If I'm the Chiefs, Trevor, because I'm such a Trey Smith fan, I would love to see them sign him to a long-term deal.
I would prefer us to do that. Go keep the youth.
But if they don't, I think they need to do it like they did with L'Jarius Sneed. They need to tag and trade him. You can't let that man just walk.
That's a lot of money.
What you've done with that pick, that was a 6th round pick. You got to
get some kind of compensation for it.
That was a 6th round pick, just like L'Jarius Sneed was a 4th round pick. You developed them into a star. Trey Smith is a star.
Somebody will give you something for that guy.
Oh, my God, dude. Could you imagine? Dude, there's so many teams out there right now that would need a right guard that's 25 years old, that's won multiple Super Bowls, that's got all that experience,
the Panthers, would be. I think the Panthers would be the first in line. The Panthers need another.
And they would
protect
pay
Bryce Young.
The shit out of Trey Smith.
Yeah, and they got the money.
He would get his money, and the Chiefs would get, what, a 2nd round pick out, a 2nd and a 4th out of Trey Smith, something like that. Like, dude, you get multiple picks out of a Trey Smith trade.
Shit, or Washington.
We're getting way ahead of ourselves, but that's just something
There's teams that have all these young quarterbacks that would sign up to go get a
they have
top
money to
tier
spend.
guard.
Yeah.
Washington would be a team I think that would be up on line too, because that O-line's good, but they need to protect their quarterback a little bit better than they have all year.
Our guy Brent said Juwan Howard. God damn,
Juwan Taylor.
Juwan Taylor hasn't lived up to what he got paid. I agree. Trevor, he got paid like a left tackle.
But he graded at what, top 5 at his position last year. I mean, what else do you want?
But look at the top 5 paid right tackles. Juwan's not better than any of the best tackles in football, and they're not even making that kind of money. Like I said, Trevor, the only guy that got paid like him was Ramczyk.
I just don't know what you.
Who's like a Hall of Famer.
He's been really good. I don't know what you want. I mean,
well, they want him to play to that level. Why do you think? Why
that doesn't always happen, man. That doesn't always work out that way.
Why do you think fans didn't want Orlando Brown Jr. to make that money that Chiefs were offering him? Because they didn't think he was that good. So it's the same logic to because we were pitched that Juwan was coming here to play left tackle. So if Juwan would have played left tackle and made that money, fans understand it. Because that's the market. But he's making that money on the other side. And he's not struggling.
The right side of that line's been quiet most of this year, so I don't know what to
I
say.
think it has a lot to do with the fact, Trevor, though, that the Chiefs have the best guard-center combination in the entire NFL.
That doesn't have anything to do with the pressure coming off the right end.
No, but it does have a lot to do with the fact that they don't have to worry about multiple men coming at them because the middle sucks everything in, dude. The middle of our offensive line is the best in football. It's not close.
I think our run blocking has been the best.
It's stupid great.
And a lot of that has to do with Trey Smith.
And Joe Tooney and Creed Humphrey are 2 elite pass blockers. And I think, just for the record here, I think Trey Smith's very underrated at pass blocking.
I agree.
I think people give him crap because he's so good at run blocking that it almost makes him look bad at pass blocking. Yeah. He is so great at run blocking.
How many times has Pat taken sacks up the middle or up the right side of the middle? Yeah,
exactly, dude. Like all you see, the majority of the sacks
left
are
side,
on that left side, or occasionally the right.
It's been a sieve
on a dual blitz, or something like that. Yeah. So what we're trying to say here, guys, is there's a lot of moving parts on the offensive line. But I think that the Chiefs have some real potential here to get younger on offensive line and stay just as effective. Because I know Kingsley is not impressed any of you guys, but I do believe that there's a very, very good chance he moves to left guard or right guard, and you're gonna like what you see out of him because he is such an athlete. He is so fucking strong. He's a big dude. I think the Chiefs are gonna repurpose him, and he's gonna shine in this offensive line. I really believe. And
that. I think honestly, we need to take it easy on some of these younger players that we're drafting. This is Kingsley's first year. We're too in the. We have our attention spans as fans are so bad. Like we give up on players so quick now because we're expecting everybody to take off year one. It's like, guys, that's not how this typically works. We're so fixated on the guys that have succeeded and just launched into the league and were elite from day one. That is far more rare than what normally happens in the league. Most guys need to progress and become something. That's the normal progression of athletes. We're so fixated on the guys that just take off day one. I mean, that's what we expect. That's why we see like guys like Caleb Williams coming in and they have everything's on them day one, and that's hard to do.
Yeah, people already called him a bust.
It's like, bro, take it easy. He's in a terribly run team right now. No offense to Poles. I like Poles a lot. I think he's going to do good things over there. But like terrible head coach. They've already fired a bunch of coaches over there. It's just Eberflus is going to lose his job this offseason. Like there's just a lot. I think we give up on players way too quickly. I think Kingsley is going to be a solid player for this team for a long time. We just got to take it easy. Let the kid become something, man.
Trevor, you would say that Patrick's the best quarterback you've ever seen, right?
Correct.
Okay. I'm taking it to the extremes to help your point. What did he do his rookie year? Oh, that's right. He didn't play.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay. Travis Kelce, you'd say he's the best tight end you've ever seen, right?
Yes.
What did he do his rookie season? Oh, that's right. He was on the IR.
Right.
Like, this is what we're saying. Is that even the best of the best
Same thing with Xavier.
had to become something.
Same thing with Xavier, bro. Xavier is going to be an absolute weapon.
Manning, one of the 5 best quarterbacks easily of all time, right?
Yeah. His first year was
rookie
awful.
season, 28 interceptions.
Terrible, dude. Yeah.
Come on. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's like, we know how this goes. Tom Brady didn't start his rookie season. So every guy has to become something. And that not everybody's Randy Moss.
That's
where you walk in and put up 1,600
not everybody's Justin
yards.
Jefferson.
You know what I mean? Yeah, exactly. Dude. That doesn't just happen. There's a reason why those guys are special as rookies. Why they have all the records because that doesn't just happen.
Yeah, look at guys like Terry McLaurin who's having a career year this year because
he's 29.
He has a top tier quarterback finally throwing in the ball. I'm saying like he's having the best year of his career. It just so happens. What's the difference there? He actually has a great quarterback and a really good head coach. Go figure. No offense to Ron Rivera, but Jesus Christ. Finally getting some structure around there.
Our guy, Douglas Slyman, came in. What up, brother? Glad you're here. Thanks for jumping in. A lot of talk about the offensive line. Trevor Clint's probably going to hate this.
This is the conversation.
Clint is not an offensive line guy, so he's not watching the show right now. But shout out to
He
Clint.
has that on mute. He just wants to see our faces.
Shout out to Clint anyway. We love you, bub.
Eastwood, by the way.
Clint, don't call me Eastwood Switzer. So we need to transition, Trevor, over here to this game. Albeit maybe not the most exciting matchup for the Chiefs this year, but might say it's the most underwhelming matchup. But it's coming at a very unique time because, again, the Chiefs are coming off their first loss of the season. So, there's some intrigue here.
Panthers are coming off 2 straight wins and a bye week.
Yeah. So there's some intrigue to that.
Yeah.
What I want to start my takeoff with this one is, Trevor, is what Patrick Mahomes' record is after a loss in his career.
Yeah.
He's 18-4. That's the best of all time by a substantial margin.
Yeah, he don't like to lose a lot.
The Panthers come into this matchup with a bottom 3 offense in EPA per play, time of possession per drive, play, and yards per drive. Surprisingly enough, the Panthers are top 5 in red zone efficiency as an offense, but then again, they've only had 25 red zone trips, which is, you guessed it, bottom 3 in the league.
Yeah, when they get there, they're good, but getting there is a challenge.
And yes, the Panthers are 31st in scoring defense, 32nd in total yards, 32nd in first downs, but they're 9th in penalties, so that's good. The fact is, and I'm just, Trevor, you know me, man, when I come to these previews, I like to get right to the chase because I want to get to the people.
Yeah.
This shouldn't be a game that we have to break down. The Chiefs need to win this one and win it going away. I'm not saying they got to empty the bag on the Panthers. I was saying that last week against an AFC foe in the Bills. But this should be a 10 to 20 point victory if the Chiefs just play their B game.
Yeah.
Which I am fully expecting, seeing they've yet to bring their A game all season, and they've won 9 of 10 games.
This feels like a game we can go give Carson Steele 15, 17 carries and just let him just chuck. This run defense is so bad. They've been getting run out by everybody.
The Panthers have lost 17 of the last 22 games.
Yeah.
Bryce Young is arguably the worst starting quarterback in the NFL.
And all their losses, I think, been like double digits, like 10-plus point, 12, 13-plus point losses.
Yes.
Almost all their losses.
Almost all their losses, I think, except one.
So can we go get a double-digit win for Christ's sake?
And here's the other thing, Trevor. We talk about the Chiefs have been running the ball so well with Kareem Hunt and everything like that. This is the worst rush defense in the NFL. So with the back-to-back games that Kareem hasn't really gotten a big use, what was it, the Saints game, he had 28 touches. The last 2 weeks combined, 28 touches.
This is a lot. This is a run-heavy game for the Chiefs. The Chiefs are going to run the ball like 35 times.
I'm not saying the Chiefs are going to go in there and win 38-7, but the Chiefs absolutely need to win this game by double digits. They need to go in there, get this game over with quick, get up 21-0, and coast. I would love
feed P. Ryan.
I would love a 45-point game. That'd be fun, right?
Yeah.
The Chiefs don't need to do that. You know why? Because the Panthers are not going to be able to score anywhere near that.
We got the
This
Raiders.
cannot be a shootout. This will not be a shootout.
Short week.
Yes.
Raiders looming on Black Friday.
Looming onion.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Look, we need to get revenge on the Raiders, too, for that holiday game last year. So
after giving up those 30 points against the Eagles in the Super Bowl, the Chiefs didn't do it for almost 2 whole seasons. They just gave up 30 points this last week in Buffalo. Yeah. Do you really think Spags is going to let anything near that happen? No.
Our defense is going to eat this week.
And with them trading off Deontay Johnson, Xavier Legette has been banged up. There's a lot on this offense that is bad. And Bryce Young with Chris Jones coming into town is a really scary thought. Look, most Chiefs games these days, let's be real, guys, are very stressful. The Chiefs owe us a stress-free Sunday. They owe us one because that last week this game sucked, and the majority of games this year have been very stressful. This is a matchup against a team who's literally begging to be beat. The Panthers, yes, they've won a couple of games this year. They've beaten bad teams. And Andy Dalton got right at that perfect time against the Raiders. It was a very situational moment. The Raiders suck. Like, this is a team that is literally not even in the same stratosphere as the Chiefs. This is a game where, like I said, the Chiefs can come in there, play very methodical, and should still win by multiple possessions. I'm not expecting the Chiefs to go out there and play like they did against the Buccaneers in 2020. Remember, they went up like 27-0?
Yeah.
I'm not expecting that.
Yeah.
What I am expecting, though, is Andy Reid has an early game plan I want to see Patrick Mahomes holding a clipboard or with his visor, with his weird hat on that has his hair out. I want him to wear his little visor hat in the fourth quarter, hanging out with Kelsey on the sidelines.
The visor wear it sideways with the hair gel.
Yeah, I want that.
I want that.
Yeah. When I'm sick with chicks
If anybody
like this,
gets that movie reference,
Yeah.
in the chat.
you look like Carly Simon. I always said if there was one woman I could be with, it was Carly Simon, and you look like her.
Is it a Cranberries tribute band?
That's G chord.
G chord.
Like, see.
Shit.
So yeah,
Lost track of it.
yeah, I appreciate that.
No,
Jonathan Hoyt Ambrose.
I will say this though about the Panthers. I'm a big Canales fan. I think he's a brilliant young coach, and is on his way to maybe
Handsome man, too.
possibly, yeah, it would
fucker.
possibly building something over there in Carolina, man. Yeah, and they're getting Jonathan Brooks. I think this is his first game as a pro. I like that kid. He's coming off an ACL tear for sure. But
Horrible timing to play against the Chiefs.
Chuba Hubbard's been one of the best running backs in football this year, though, statistically. So, I mean, if we can just stop the run, put all the pressure on the young QB over there and Bryce Young, this game should be over quick. It should be, light work. It should just kind of get in, get out. Nobody getting hurt. Just, bring another vanilla game plan. That should be all it takes to win this game. Run the ball 40 times. And just get in, get out. And Pat doesn't need to be special by any means. His defense just needs to stop the run and put pressure on Bryce Young to make throws downfield, and we'll take care of it.
Well, and look, I don't mean to make this game seem not exciting. It could be a fun game.
We're gonna
right?
win by 7.
But here's the thing, Trevor. The reason why I don't think the Chiefs are going to go out there and just put the beat down on this team.
Yeah, there's no need.
It's because well, you and I talked about.
We're not a
show.
bully type team, though.
Well, yeah, but we also talked about this before the show. Look at the games coming down the stretch for the Chiefs.
Yeah.
They have back-to-back divisional games against the Raiders and Chargers, both at home, by the way.
Tough defenses, man.
Then they go to Cleveland, who are playing much better football, Jameis.
Yeah.
Then they host the Texans, which I feel good against the Texans, but we'll talk about that. Then they have a very short week, a 4-day week in between. And then they go to Pittsburgh on Christmas Day, and then finish the season at Denver. So
yeah, these divisional games has got more interesting. Man,
Yeah,
the Chargers has gotten better. Denver's looking better.
After this Carolina game, they have 6 straight AFC games. So this is a game where, like I said, get in there, go up 3 or 4 touchdowns, and just coast.
Yeah.
Run the ball, have Carson Wentz check it over to some young player.
Yeah, and this is
Noah
another
Gray
great.
gets 9, 10 catches.
Well, it's another great game to get the connection with Xavier Worthy better too. I think working with Xavier
Early in
Worthy,
the game.
yeah, maybe some deep shots at him, getting that connection there, getting that trust there. I think this is a great opportunity to try to work that out.
Yeah.
Some more. Because we were definitely doing it against the Bills, so why not against this team?
Yeah, and like I said, guys, all the numbers point to the Chiefs being able to
Yeah.
methodically beat this team. This team is not good. I know that this will be Bryce Young's biggest game of his career and all this other stuff. And the Panthers would love to beat the Chiefs. That doesn't necessarily mean they're going to go out there and execute it. That just means that it's a big game for the Panthers. Congratulations, guys!
Yeah.
You get to play the Chiefs. There's not enough on this team for this game to really be close. And if it's close, that's on the Chiefs, man. And that they have to answer for that because it's not even about the potential of losing. It's we played a shit game and squeaked out a victory against the fucking Panthers.
Yeah.
So that just can't happen.
Winning by 10 would be cool. Just win by 10.
Yes, it needs to be a double digit. It needs to be a double digit victory. It needs to be an easy going Sunday to get prepared for this 6-game stretch.
The spread's
against
10.5.
AFC foes. Yes, and I think the Chiefs should cover that. They should cover that. Trevor, who are your 2 key players?
Man, I don't know. This has been something I've been kind of back and forth on, but I just feel like this should be a good defensive outing after having an absolute, letdown last week. I think there should be several sacks in this game. Bryce Young is not good at evading the pressure. The O-line is not good. So this should be a get-right game for George Karlaftis. I like George Karlaftis in this game. I think he's really, really good. He had a 4-game stretch where he was really, really good this year. Last couple weeks, he's kind of let us down. Had some opportunities last week, let us down, didn't get to Josh. Had some good pressures, just didn't get home. So I expect him to get home this week. I think George Karlaftis has a really good game. Offensively, I'm going to go right back to it. I think, obviously, this should be a Kareem and the running back group game. I think there should be several rushing touchdowns in this one. I think Carson Steele is going to have a healthy amount of work in this game as well. But I'm going to go with Xavier Worthy again. I think this is a game where they just keep getting him the ball, working on that connection with him and Pat. This feels like a great opportunity for them to. I think Horn is a good DB for the Panthers, but other than that, they got nobody back there. I think this is a good week where Pat can just kind of test some things out, work some things to Xavier. Get some good. They don't have a lot of good edge rushers, so I think Pat's going to have some time to make plays downfield, so allows things to develop and just get that timing down with Xavier, man. So I just want to see more of that And I think Xavier has another solid outing here and finish some plays that he hasn't been finishing on all year. So those are my two guys.
This one's very simple for me because I think the Panthers are going to want to run the ball in this game, but I think they're going to be so far down they're going to try to throw a lot, which means there's going to be an opportunity for sacks. I think this is a game where Chris Jones has 2 or 3 sacks. I think he just blows up. I think he gets a little stat pad in action. Makes Bryce Young's day a living hell.
Yeah.
I think Chris Jones is definitely the guy that impacts this game on the defensive side the most, sets the pace, sets the tempo, gets some really early domination, and then maybe hopefully sits down for the rest of the game because I don't want him to get worn out in this one. Yeah. So Chris has got my vote on the defensive side of things. On the offensive side of things, it is very simple. It is Kareem Hunt. This is the worst rushing defense in the league. I think there's no doubt in my mind Kareem Hunt can go out there and have a $120 on the ground with 2 touchdowns. I think that's what he's going to get because next week Isaiah Pacheco is supposed to return. So this will be a game where Kareem for the last week of the season really will have the bulk of will have all the carries basically. Because Steele, he doesn't really get a lot of touches. P. Ryan, he gets more catches than rushes.
I think Carson Steele's going to run the ball like 10 times at least.
You might be right. Yeah. But I think Kareem gets 18 to 22 rushes for over 100 yards. I think he eats in this game. And I think he gets a couple goal line touchdowns. Chiefs get out of this game, and do what they need to do.
By the way, I could have been more wrong about the Juju call last week. Jesus.
This is what I'm talking about, Trevor. The Chiefs just didn't use him. They just didn't use him.
He was barely on the field. I was very confused by that.
I didn't understand it either.
I don't know. He looked good in that catch, too, that he had. I don't know, man. That was a bizarre. That was bizarre. I don't know.
Yep, I agree. I agree.
I was very upset about that.
Yeah, John Harrison said Carolina gives up 160 rushing yards a game.
Yeah.
This is be a game where the Chiefs run the ball 30 times and just kill the clock and just own time of possession, keep their defense fresh. That's the goal in all this. Stay healthy.
Yes.
Keep the defense fresh.
That's why I don't think we're going to give Kareem maybe that big a workload. I think it could be some Carson Steele and some P. Ryan in there.
You might be right.
I think Kareem carries the ball like 15, 16 times, but I don't think we need to give him too much because we're going to use him a lot against the Raiders for sure.
Yeah. What's your score prediction, Trevor?
We score 30 here. We have to score 30. I think I'm feeling 31-15. They hit a lot of field goals. Our defense does their job. They might score a touchdown, but I think a lot of field goals for the Panthers, trying to keep things close. Maybe I got another garbage time touchdown for them to maybe make it semi-interesting, but I think we win comfortably. So I'm going to go 31-15. I think we win pretty big here.
Yeah, so when on Arrowhead All Eyes, I was talking about how the Chiefs just need to play a real conservative style of offense.
Yeah.
And get away with, covering the spread. I had the Chiefs originally winning this game 24-13. But I do agree with you. I think that not Harrison Butker, but Schrader's going to get some shots to make some field goals in this game.
He looked good.
I would hit his overs on field goals made. I think he's going to make 3 or 4 field goals as well. Because I don't think the Chiefs are going to get stopped. I don't think the Chiefs punt in this game.
But I think the Panthers are so bad to where we can either force some turnovers, have really good fieldage, short fieldage, and we score touchdowns just by shit, we're here.
Right.
Might as well punch it in.
I'm making a prediction. I don't think the Chiefs punt in this game. I think they score on every drive or it's like a kneel down or end of half, whatever the case is, stuff like that. Yeah. I don't think they have turnovers in this game. I think the Chiefs are going to play a clean game, and I'm expecting them to do that. I'm gonna say the Chiefs win this game 30-13. I think
we just allow too much garbage time points, though. I can see them covering.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I think they scored a touchdown late in the game. Sure. I think they have 6 points for the majority of the game, 2 field goals. And then at the very end, Bryce Young, drives them down the field when Spags play that soft shell shit.
Nice Adam Thielen touchdown.
Yeah. Nice little shallow crosser route, that he just puts in for 5-7 yards out.
Yeah.
That's how I think this game goes. But I do agree with you. I think the Chiefs methodically get to their second 30-point game of the season.
Yeah.
And win 30-13. Let us know in the chat how you see this game going as well. Oh, shit. John Harrison said 30-13 as well.
Nice.
Hell yeah. Clean the air with E. 34-10 Chiefs. So
I like that.
I like that as well.
Win by 24.
Good score, yeah. It's got to be a double-digit game. There's no question about it. Trevor, let's get to the people, man. What do they say to speaking?
All right, man. So we got 8 questions in here. If you guys want to get some more while I'm asking or while we're reading these ones, go ahead and feel free. My guy Enrique, why is D-Hop underperforming, or is he not?
I would say D-Hop's underperforming. I think he's being underutilized.
Yeah.
I think there's a combination of factors. I think the Chiefs are obviously working him into the offense. He's an older receiver, so they don't want to overutilize him early and wear him down before the postseason because they know that this is a guy they're going to be, looking towards in the postseason. But I just think it really has nothing to do with him underwhelming or he can't play. Obviously, we've seen this man make incredible snags just the early portions of his career here in Kansas City. So I just say it's one of those stay tuned type of situations where in about a month we'll see D-Hop 7 catches for 89 yards and a touchdown being kind of a normal way of going about things. I definitely expect D-Hop as the season gets later in the season with the AFC games coming down, that D-Hop becomes more of a primary target.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it feels very intentional. They're kind of coasting with him a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, they're building packages for him. There's going to be some offensive schemes just for him and his skill set. We've already kind of seen some of that. When plays break down, Patrick can trust him to go make the catch. So he's going to come up big later in the year, especially in these bigger games we have coming up, especially in these divisional games coming up. For sure, I think D-Hop is going to be a guy we go to a lot come postseason time for sure. So. Just taking everything in stride with him right now. It's not an underperforming issue. Dustin Orton, speak it. Is Noah Gray taking Kelsey's role with Mahomes?
No. There's no replacing Kelsey in this offense. You're never going to find somebody that comes close to that. That's why if you look at the Buccaneers with Brady, even when he got Gronk, it wasn't the same. He was working. That offense was working through Mike Evans and Chris Godwin. Because Gronk was no longer Gronk. He was just a solid role player at that time. That's what Travis Kelce's starting to transition into, is a guy that can just get, he's still a very solid option. But what Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce had is very special. It's not something that you can either recreate or replicate. This is something that we see once in a generation. That's why they have the records they have, and that's why they've won the way that they have. So no, I don't think that. I think Noah Gray and Patrick can develop their own connection, but I hate to, because I'm a big Noah Gray guy. I hate to say it this way. He's never going to come close to what Travis Kelce was as a player. Mm-hmm. So we just have to accept that now and just hope for the best and hope that over the next 3 years or so while he's here, that the Chiefs maximize his efforts and his abilities.
I think Jared Wiley's that guy of the future, in my opinion. I know he's hurt right now. He's got some recovery to do this next offseason. It's going to be probably not till mid-season next year until we even see the kid. But, yeah, Noah Gray he's a different type of player than Kelsey. They're different styles. Like they can have similar production, I think, in this offense if Noah was the guy. But just the connection between Pat and Kelsey is just a unique, maybe the most unique connection I think we might have ever seen in football, if I'm being honest. That's not just a bias. That's just my eyeballs telling me what I'm seeing. Especially between a tight end and a quarterback. We've seen stuff like that between receivers and quarterbacks when plays break down and things like that. It typically isn't the tight end, but the tight end that we have is just a very unique player.
Yep.
So Noah Gray's great though, man. I like what I'm seeing him, especially after the catch. People sleep on his ability to move after the catch. The dude can move, man. He can run routes too. The dude's strong as shit. Scoring 2 touchdowns last week. I love that for his personal morale, his personal confidence in this offense. And that's something we can build on, man. With these 2 tight end sets and knowing we got a guy that can go score 2 tutties on a no-show game from Kelsey is very good for this offense moving forward. I mean, we know we have that in our bag now. We have that in our repertoire. So I love that game for him. Even in a loss, I love that game for Noah Gray last week, having a game of his career. I love it. Next one from our guy, Dustin Orton. Speak it. After hearing the coaches talk about the new kicker, have we found Bucker's replacement when it's time to move on? No. Bro, Bucker's going to kick till he's 40 on this team, dude. Like, Bucker ain't going nowhere.
Look,
he's going to be the all-time scorer for
Did
this
the Chiefs
Chiefs
just give
team.
Bucker a contract extension too? Like, there's...
Guys. It is. I will say, admit, it is a rapidly developing situation with Bucker that happened out of nowhere at practice or whatever. So I mean, it was, and yeah, I don't know. The missed did he miss a kick or he slipped on a kick last week?
It was Cardinals against the Cardinals.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't know.
That was 2 years ago when Bucker got hurt.
Yeah, I'm saying, but just recently he did slip on a kick. I don't know if that was any part of his injury.
No.
I think it happened at practice, which is just a freak thing, but. Yeah, Bucker's the best kicker in football, bro.
And Bucker's injury is not some long sustained injury where it's going to affect him the rest of his career.
Hopefully, it doesn't affect his mental side, but
I get that. But
that's where kickers start to get the yips.
I fully expect Bucker to make a full recovery and be the guy for at least the next 5 years, at least. Yeah. That's where I'm at. I don't know if he'll be their kicker at 40. I definitely do believe, though, until he's in his mid-30s, he will be the Chiefs kicker. So I don't believe Schrader or anybody in particular is going to be replacing Bucker anytime soon. This team has full faith in Bucker, and I have full faith in Bucker because this dude's arguably the most accurate kicker of all time. Yeah, I mean, he's still the best in the game, and even though Brandon Aubrey is working his way up there, my God, that kid is insane. Julia Gulia. Is it possible Veach was already looking for a left tackle after the Bengals game, and the plan was to stay afloat with Morris? I think that's
I'm not putting anything past Veach, of course.
Yeah, I definitely think that he was shopping, but I don't know if he knew there was going to be anything realistic out there. And again, I told you guys, if the Chiefs really believed that Donovan Smith was the answer, they wouldn't have let him sit out there during training camp and something. They'd have got him back and let him get back in shape and have him do the things he's supposed to do as a left tackle.
I'm convinced they were monitoring, and along with probably other teams and GMs, they were monitoring this Humphrey situation all season.
Yeah.
I think several teams probably were, because the guy was a Pro Bowler 2 years ago, and I think every team needs a left tackle. Most teams need a good left tackle, especially if they're not confident in that position. And the Chiefs are definitely not confident in that position right now, and it made sense. So monitoring, I think they were probably monitoring him all season long until this point. And of course, Humphreys probably was reached out by several teams, but I mean, joining the Chiefs was probably a no-brainer for the kid, or for the guy. I keep saying the kid, bro. He's 30 years old. I'm only a few years older than him. Jesus, sorry, man. But yeah, I think this is a situation where Veach was just monitoring him, and I think this is just a good timing situation. Hopefully, he comes in and looks awesome, and that helps this O-line, chug along. But I think Veach is always shopping, bro.
Yeah,
Veach is always wheeling and dealing, man. He's out there. That's what he does. So he's like an auctioneer out there. You know what I mean? So yeah, for sure, I believe he was shopping that whole time. Enrique, second question: is Ńazi Johnson a weakness?
No, I don't think he's a weakness. I think that the way that the Chiefs secondary is they're going through a transitional period right now, because it isn't about 𝙂𝙸𝙸, it's about losing Jalen Watson. So they're trying to figure out, because they came into the season knowing they didn't have 𝙂𝙸𝙸, so that wasn't the transitional period. It was losing Jalen Watson. So they're trying to find that answer, and this is why I do believe the Chiefs need to move Chamari Conner from safety to corner, and then use Jaden Hicks more on that side of things where Chamari Conner's been, because Jaden Hicks' game is being a hard hitter, a heavy hitter, a guy that can, go down and make blitzes and stay. That's his game.
Him and Brian Cook both are kind of same kind of player.
I don't look at Ńazi Johnson as a guy that can be viewed as a massive strength or weakness. I think he's a role player. I think he's a guy that the Chiefs don't really rely on a lot of times outside of, a play here or there. I think Ńazi's a good player. I think he's a solid quarterback, but I don't have a ton of I don't come into a matchup going, all right, man, this game's going to be won or lost by Ńazi Johnson.
Yeah.
No, it's never going to happen. He's just a part of it.
Yeah.
And I definitely don't look at him as a negative. I see him as a net positive for sure.
I mean, I know he got cooked last week, man, but at the same time,
He got cooked a couple weeks ago.
Right. So, and what does that all correlate to? The weakness right now is not getting after the quarterbacks. That is the weakness of this team right now. That's why our DBs look worse, because we're giving quarterbacks all the time. Of course, these are NFL quarterbacks. Of course, Josh Allen. Bo Nix was getting all the time in the world. He was making throws down. Of course, we got to get after the quarterbacks. We're going to let them sit back and have 5 to 7 seconds to make plays. Any quarterback in the league Daniel Jones is going to make plays against our defense if we're given that much time. So, especially teams that have good, talented receivers. Of course, they're eventually going to get space. That's why DB is such a tough position. If you don't have your defensive line getting pressure on the opposition, it's going to be a long day for you guys, man, no matter how good you are. So you can only stay in front of an elite athlete for so long. I mean, it's tough, man. So I think getting after the quarterback is where it starts, and I think that's the weakness of this team right now, which is crazy to say. We have so much talent up front, and we're going to get guys back, and I get that, but Chris Jones is doing everything he can. George Karlaftis has got to step up and be better. We've got to get Mike Dana back and healthy, fully healthy. I know he's been healthy, but getting him back to what he's done, getting after the quarterbacks and finishing plays and getting sacks is going to help that secondary tremendously.
Yep.
So I don't think Ńazi's that bad. I think he got, like I said, that one throw that Josh Allen put on Amari Cooper was he was there. He was stride for stride with Amari Cooper. Just dropped it right in his hands. So I mean, not much you can do about that. So he got cooked on a couple other plays, but that's going to happen. Ńazi's not some elite talent, so he's a fill-in guy, and I think he's been playing overall well since he's been a part of this team, in my opinion. Brent on YouTube: why is Spags so stubborn to play the new guys like 𝚂𝙭? We traded for him for a limited amount of time. Spags' defense isn't rocket science, not that hard to learn.
This is what I addressed earlier. 𝚂𝙭's the new guy, and whether you believe that or not, guys, that does mean something, and it does mean that 𝚂𝙭 is going to have to learn his way, because he's coming from a different system on a different roster with different teammates. Yeah. It's different. It's a lot different. Even if it's the same game, like, he's being asked to do a little bit different things at different times in different areas. And so I'm not worried about whether 𝚂𝙭 is going to be a part of this defense or not. I'm not expecting Spags to day one have him out there doing things. Like I told you guys, I view this acquisition, I said this a couple weeks ago when they made the signing, I viewed this acquisition as a postseason acquisition. I think that 𝚂𝙭 is going to be a guy in a big moment, strip sack. I think he's going to be that guy where, remember they got this, and you're going to hear the broadcasters, well, he was a mid-season acquisition.
I think a lot of us wanted this to be a good game for 𝚂𝙭 and get more snaps and play because of the time, him coming from that division, him knowing Josh Allen. We talked about it before the game. I think that would have been a cool thing if he like got a sack on Josh Allen.
Then that makes sense for Spags to keep him back a little bit so they know, hey, we play him in the postseason. Yeah. That's when you get your pound of flesh.
He barely played, though. That's the thing. That's what's pissing people off. I get it, because he played less this week than he did his first week with us. So that is kind of odd, but I mean, I think the kid's got talent. The kid's got juice. You watch the film on him, man. And coming from that division too, he knows Josh Allen. So I figured I was juiced up for that as well to see maybe he make a play, but it didn't happen, man. Give it time. We got to be patient. Like Lance said, these are new guys to this system. Granted, Spags, like you said, Brent, it's not rocket science. I get it, but Spags does have a lot of when it comes to defensive linemen. He has a lot of specialty things that he needs these guys to understand and know situationally that maybe Uche is just not privy on yet. So we'll get there. I think Uche is going to be a solid player for us down the stretch, man. Dustin Orton, speak it. Vikings have released a 2022 round. 2022, I believe, first round cornerback. I'm not sure. It just says round. Cornerback. I think the Chiefs are in on him. 𝚂𝙿𝙾𝙺𝙴. 𝚂𝙿𝙾𝙺𝙴, I believe, is his name.
𝚂𝙿𝙾, yeah. What a first name.
I mean, honestly, I'm sure Veach is out there sourcing guys. I would not be surprised if this guy's in the mix. I didn't hear too much about this kid, but I know the Vikings do draft well on defense. They always find good corners. They always have a lot of guys on their practice squad that are, that come up. They draft well over there. So I think Veach knows the certain teams that he likes, like the Niners and other teams that have good scouts that scout good talent you could poach guys from. The Vikings would be one of those teams in my mind. So I think maybe this guy. I don't know much about this kid, so I don't really have a real good thorough answer to you. Right. Unless you know him, I don't know this. No,
I really have no book on this kid at all.
2022. Early draft pick cornerback for the Vikings. So maybe, I don't know, man. It's a maybe for me. I have no idea, but I'm sure Veach has his finger on the button of a lot of teams that are looking to.
Worst case, this kid ends up being a practice squad guy, and the best of luck to him.
Noah Groniger is in the chat.
Yeah,
𝚂𝙿𝙾𝙺𝙴. I'm hoping I'm not butchering that name. It's from Missouri, a 4th round cornerback, but I doubt that he clears waivers. So I'm guessing Noah knows much about this kid that he's good enough to get claimed. So. The Vikings do draft well, so them dropping guys and cutting guys, they have tremendous depth over there. So, if he gets claimed, he gets claimed. But if he doesn't, I'm sure Veach will be all over it. I wouldn't imagine. Let's see. Okay. Michael Maldonado, would you agree the winner of the Bills versus Lions on December 15th wins the MVP?
I'm not really interested in that yet. I told you guys after the bye week, when every team has had their bye week, that's when I talk MVP.
Sure.
I think it's so much in the air because we just, a few weeks ago, not even a few weeks ago, everybody was saying that Lamar Jackson's running away with the MVP.
Bro, am I the only one that doesn't care about MVPs anymore?
Yeah, I'm with you.
It's starting to feel like Coach of the Year for me. We know Andy's not going to get it. The only way Andy was going to get it this year is if we went undefeated.
Yeah,
because they would have no choice.
Yeah,
but we all know Andy's the best coach in the game.
Yeah.
It's always like these teams that went from shit to okay to maybe a playoff team. Those are the type of team that their coach gets Coach of the Year, which is fine.
Yeah.
But I'm like, we all know who the most valuable player in this game is.
Right.
We all know who the best coach in this game is.
Right.
I don't give a shit if they get the hardware, bro.
Yeah. Like I said,
at this point,
I don't think that game. I think probably from a narrative perspective in the national media, that's what they're going to say. But we still have almost 2 months of football left, and if let's say the Bills win that game, right, against the Lions, and then the Bills turn around and lose the Rams.
Yeah, that's probably what's going to happen.
That's what I'm saying.
There's going to be some funny
then
shit.
Then what?
Yeah.
Then are we saying that Josh Allen's still the MVP when he's, you know what I mean?
It's like stocks, bro. Stocks are going up and down. It's a bi-weekly thing. And Lamar's not out of the conversation yet either.
Well,
if they win out,
unless someone's having a season like Patrick Mahomes, who had 37 touchdowns before his bye week.
Yeah.
Then we're not really having this discussion because it's not definitive. Like, there's no one right now in the league that is running away with the MVP. There's no one at all.
Josh Allen has the best odds at this point for sure. Because he beat the Chiefs and had a walk-off.
And last week he had like the 4th. So, like, you know what I mean? Like
it's a bi-weekly thing.
Exactly, dude.
I don't personally care anymore.
I'm not buying into the machine. I'm not jumping on the machine on this yet. I'm gonna wait until like week 14, 15, when everyone's had their bye weeks. And then we start talking about it. That's where I'm at.
By the way, off topic, I don't know if you saw the news about the Niners that Brock Purdy's out this week.
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw that. I just wanted to kind of throw that out there. George Kittle, Brock Purdy, and Nick Bosa.
Yeah, they're saying Nick Bosa might miss weeks.
Bro.
The Niners might miss the playoffs.
So could Brock Purdy. Yeah, they're 5-5.
Yeah.
They could have a losing record. I think they lose this game to the Packers.
And the Seahawks beat the Cardinals, and the Rams beat the Eagles.
Yeah.
They all jumped the Niners.
Seahawks are
they
very
jumped
much
the Niners.
Seahawks are very much in the race.
The Niners would be in last place in their division.
Bro, that's nuts.
If the Rams and
that Super Bowl
Seahawks
hangover,
win, yeah.
that Super Bowl hangover is real.
Right.
But they tend to be a team that's always hurt, though. They're always hurt. Debo could probably go down this game. I'll be surprised. McCaffrey.
You've already lost Brandon Ayuk.
Dude, I feel bad, man, 'cause I have
Trent
so much
Williams is
respect.
69 years old.
I have so much respect for those guys over there. It's just that's
But
rough.
they did the same thing after they lost the Super Bowl to the Chiefs the first time.
Yeah.
When they lost
Yeah.
the Chiefs, they went 6-10 the next year.
That's what I'm saying. The hangover. That hangover is real, man.
Well, they had a lot of injuries.
Yeah.
That team's getting old, man, progressively old.
Yeah. They're gonna have to rebuild a lot of things over there, probably even after this season.
Yep.
All right, this is the last one I wanted to get to for my guy. Clear the air with E. Speak it. No question. I just wanted to say that this is a great podcast, and thank you for what you guys do in the breaking down our love for the Chiefs and the NFL. We love our Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah,
I
man,
appreciate
thank
you, bro.
Thank you, bro. Really means a lot. That really means a lot. You guys are here, but I'll tell you the truth. As kind of those words are, it really is. And I know this sounds like an Academy Award acceptance speech, but this is really you guys.
Thank you.
Yeah, exactly. It's really you guys, man. Like Trevor and I, we do this off air, and no one gives a shit. But you guys make this show into something people give a shit about. Like Trevor and I can be on the show, but if we're not interacting with you guys, and you're not giving us your takes, how interesting really is the show?
Yeah.
So it's you guys, man. So I thank you for making the show what it is, man. We really do appreciate those kind words, though, because they are very kind, and we don't take that lightly, dude, because we put a lot of pride in the show, and we very much love doing this, man. We look forward to talking with you guys every single week.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And I appreciate the kind words and the boosting of our egos, and sometimes we need that, man. It's nice to hear every once in a while some words of affirmation, man. I appreciate it. Yeah, we do. We enjoy waking up on Saturday mornings and getting prepped for the show, and even though it's coming off a loss, we keep it rolling. But yeah, man, the Chiefs make it easy. Honestly, if we're being honest, the Chiefs make it pretty easy content wise, and just us as true fans of this game, and us, they give us something fun to look forward to talk to every week, and it's
right.
The content kind of makes itself, and you guys make it that much better for us every week when you guys are chiming in, and this is our favorite part of the show, is just talking to you guys. So appreciate you, man.
Absolutely. Well, that's it for the questions, I'm assuming.
That is it for the people.
Great stuff today, guys. We appreciate it every single week. I say at the bottom, top, I say at the bottom of every single show. Go to youtube.com, hit the Spoken Podcast, subscribe, like, share, notify, all that stuff, right? That definitely helps us when you guys do all those things. We're looking for growth exponentially on the YouTube side. But guys, get in the comments. We want to hear from you guys. We want to get your questions. We want to get your takes, comments, questions, concerns, everything you got. We want it on the show every single week. So bring your best, bring your worst. I don't give a shit what it is. Just bring it. And we appreciate it, guys. So that's it for speaking. Trevor, we have one more order of business to get to. What is it called? Hold this L. Each and every episode, we finish off every single series, every single episode with a series of L's in the world of sports. Whether those L's are friendly L's or not so friendly L's in the world of sports, we promise you, whoever is holding the L this week deserve those L's in the world of sports. Trevor, who's holding the L for you this week, my man?
All right, so I know we all of us football fans heard the news of the debacle that is the New York Giants. Danny Dimes getting paid that fat contract and them going away from Saquon Barkley, which is obviously, in retrospect, has been an awful decision. I don't think that was Dayball's move. I like my guy Dayball. I'm a big fan of him. I think he's a great coach. I don't think that's what he wanted to do. Right. I don't think he was first in line to pay Daniel Jones that kind of money. But all in all, the season has gone as we expected. The Giants suck. They have a lot of talent on that team. The signing of, or the draft picks of Tyron Tracy, who I think is going to be a stud in this league. And then just the recent news of them, deciding to put Daniel Jones on the third string quarterback, to sit him down entirely, basically bench him entirely because of the similar contract issue with the Russell Wilson debacle in Denver, when they didn't want him to risk him getting hurt because they'd have to pay him a certain lump sum of money. It's in his contract there to pay him if he does get hurt. So he could even fake an injury, and get paid. So
Spinal.
So yeah, I mean, it's just a shit show over there, man. Poor Giants fans. You guys have had some good history in your fandom, but it's been a rough stretch for them for several years now. One guy in particular, though, that I did want to point out, this is the majority of my L is going to this guy in particular. It's Tiki Barber, who has saucy takes damn near every week. The guy is a loon, in my opinion.
Tiki takes. Tiki takes.
Yeah, but he, obviously being a Giants guy, most of his content is in the vein of what's going on over there in Giantsville. But I'm just gonna read this article here. As expected, the take aged like milk. Jackson is one of the best quarterbacks. Or this is when he was talking about. He was comparing Daniel Jones. This was before the season had started, getting ready to start the season. He was basically comparing Daniel Jones to the likes of Lamar Jackson, Dak Prescott, saying he would take him over those guys in the moment, which is a wild take. But as expected, the take age like milk. Jackson is one of the best quarterbacks in the league, but while Jones is out of a starting job and off the Giants after they cut him on Friday, a former New York Giants running back, Tiki Barber, is getting roasted for a previous take that he had about quarterback Daniel Jones. He explained on WFAN Sports Radio in New York late 2022 that he'd rather have Jones than Lamar Jackson. So that was in 2022. And just recently before the season started, he also had this take that I'm going to play for you here real quick.
Daniel Jones can be a top 5 quarterback. I really believe that. And, I know a lot of this is about Saquon, what he means for Daniel Jones, but Daniel Jones is paid to be a top quarterback.
He almost said elite there. Okay, and then he also went on to say that he would take him over Dak Prescott in that same take. Daniel Jones is without a job now. So, I mean, that obviously, we could take that take for what it is, and Tiki just continues to pump out great content like that all year, so give him a follow. It's definitely good for all the wrong reasons. But, yeah, I don't want to kick the Giants fans when they're down. This is not towards Giants fans because I've been there. We've been there. We've had our doubt. We've had dark times in Chiefs fans, man, for sure. So I'm not here to destroy the fans because none of this is their fault. And most of those fans, if you lined up and took a poll for Giants fans, if they've wanted to give him that Daniel Jones that kind of money, hell no. I know a lot of Giants fans that despise Daniel Jones.
The price of Saquon Barkley.
Yeah, and then what he's doing this year with the Eagles is, oh my God, that's so tough, man. That's brutal. So I couldn't imagine like the Chiefs trading prime Jamal Charles to like another team and watch him go off, and we kept it so quarterback Brody Croyle or whatever the fuck at the time we ever had it. But yeah, man, yeah. So this is more geared towards the leadership and the ownership of the Giants and what they're doing over there. It's an absolute shit show, and obviously Tiki Barber getting the brunt here, the brunt of the blows here on this L. So for that, those terrible takes, the terrible franchise that is the New York Giants at the moment. Do me a solid favor and hold this L.
So I'm gonna keep it in the NFC East. There's a certain level of dominance that some teams have had at home, and the conversation always is what have you done for me lately? The one thing the Cowboys are always really good at over these last couple of years was winning games, obviously, but not only winning home games but dominating their opposition, right? So, coming into this season, Trevor, the Cowboys had won 16 straight home games, not including the postseason because obviously they got destroyed against the Packers. Yep. But 16 straight regular season wins at home. They're winning those games by more than 14 points per game.
One of the best home field advantages in football.
Unbelievably great.
I bought in, baby.
Trevor, since that Packers lost in the postseason, the Cowboys are not only they haven't won a game at home, they're the only American sports team to not win a home game in that span. Mm-hmm. But check this out. They have led in those games for 9 minutes.
Oof.
And they have trailed by more than 20 points for 119 minutes.
Oh my God.
So the complete opposite of what they were doing is now what they are. This franchise is in a complete tailspin. They are a mess. Jerry Jones is only igniting the fire more.
He's awful, dude.
He's 82 years old. I'm not ageist here.
He's awful.
I know this sounds bad, but there comes a point in our lives where we have to let the reins go. Jerry.
His take about the stadium shit. Oh, we just tear it down to build a new one. Like, dude,
it's 5 years old? Tearing itself down. There was a piece of fucking metal that fell off the building. That's dangerous.
It's like a 5-year-old, bro.
You have the fucking sun just peering through the guys can't see. Look, man.
It's terrible design.
I don't like to talk Cowboys on the show because every other show talks Cowboys, so I save it for the L's. This franchise is just a pile of horse shit. And to be honest with you, I'm enjoying it.
Yeah, go figure, horse shit.
Yeah, literally. Yeah, exactly. So, Cowboys, man, your dominance is over. Mike McCarthy's about to get fired. They're begging Deion Sanders to take the job, which I do not believe he will. Yeah. I believe he either stays in college. I think he stays in college and more than likely goes to the SEC. That's my take on it because I think he's a man who likes to develop young men. He likes to, you know what I mean?
He's made it very clear in the past he doesn't want to coach men that are making millions of dollars. Well, the ego's there.
And
I get that.
Lane Kiffin, dude, made a great point the other day on The Herd. It was actually yesterday on Colin Cowherd Show, The Herd. He made a great point. He said, the reason I'm in college and not in the NFL is the NFL punishes you for being great. He goes, what do I mean by that? When you win, you get further down on the draft. You have they make it harder for you when you do the right thing. In college, if you're winning, you get all the best recruits. You're winning, so you keep winning.
It's like participation trophy kind of shit.
Dude, I'm really not to go on a tangent here, but I think the NFL should think about that. I think the NFL should stop rewarding bad franchises.
That's true, because that would remove tanking.
I think if you win the Super Bowl, you should have a top pick. I'm dead serious.
Like a top 10.
Yeah. Or like a lottery. Like the best 5 records, they have a 5-team lottery.
Yeah, that's why the NBA does it right.
It incentivizes winning.
Yeah.
So these franchises that just keep wasting their taxpayers' monies, their fan season ticket holders, that like the Browns, those poor fans. They gave fucking Deshaun Watson $200 guaranteed dollars. You know those fans are enjoying that
history, dude.
By 4. And those fans don't deserve that. So what that would force is guys like Jimmy Haslam, who's a piece of shit owner, like Dave Tepper, piece of shit owner in Carolina, force these guys to have to win. Because what they look at is, hey, we're getting a first-round pick. We're getting our first overall pick. We're good.
Yeah.
Like, we can just keep sucking and we'll just keep getting the best picks. If we flip that narrative, all of a sudden things can change. And I don't even know where the fuck I got on this tangent, Trevor. Like I said, that's where the NFL needs to go. But what the Cowboys need to do for me, Trevor, is do me a solid and
hold this L.
Because they are shit.
L's abound.
And I don't want to see them get rewarded for it either, but we know that's how the NFL does things. So
yeah, they just need to trade CeeDee Lamb to the Chiefs.
That'd be nice. I'd like that.
Bro, could you go imagine?
I actually couldn't.
He's so good, bro. He's so good.
He'd be the best receiver Patrick Mahomes ever
He's
had.
rotting away over there, man. He's so good. Talk about creating space. That dude is one of the, if not the best route runner in football. My God.
Yeah, well, the best fans in all of sports is right here on this show because you guys made this show fun as hell, dude. Thank you guys so much, man. John Harrison always bringing the facts. So many people today, man, in the chat. You guys are the freaking best, dude. Keep bringing that stuff to us, man, and tell your friends about us. Let them know to get on YouTube at the Spoken Podcast, to subscribe, notify, share, all that stuff. We very much appreciate everything you guys do for us. But get in the chat, dude, because that is what makes the show what it is. You guys are the lifeblood, and we will continue to do the show as long as you guys want us to, and as long as you guys are a part of it. So for Trevor Twidwell, for the great Clay Weather that puts all this together on the back end of things at the Red Tribe Cinema. Fantastic work. Go check it out. I'm Lance Twidwell, the Spoken Podcast, the entire Stargate Media family. Episode 293 is done, finished, and finito. And until we're back here in 1 week's time, 294. Talk about the Chiefs getting back on track, 10-1, about to take on this 6-game stretch of AFC opponents. They got, 4 more games against divisional opponents. Let's see the Chiefs run the fucking table. We out of this bitch.
Later.